Welcome back, everybody, to the Gears Winter Major presented by The Batman. I'm Fallout alongside Ribs and Toby. Had to look down for a second. I was like, wait, Ryan, Toby. What's up, Toby Keith? Welcome to the desk for the first time today, my dude. Good to have you. How you feeling today, brother?
Great. I was immediately woken up by that first game, right? What an incredible game that was. Thought it'd have been a 3-0, honestly, looking at the Vazgar. Hive, of course, coming back, putting on a show. And honestly, what was a shock for me? Usually, I'd have probably just gone with Hive to win that one, to be honest. I still kind of favored their individual skill, their talent, Toti, that clutch factor to come on through on Major Day, on Major Days. But of course, it was all about Fury 1, and they continue to impress us, this somewhat brand new team to the Pro League just this past split. They're doing really well.
Yeah, that's right. It just goes to show history repeating itself. New team on the block, performing and rising their way to the top. That amateur to pro story has been true ever since Gears 1 with Retaliation coming out of the open bracket, making it all the way to the championship finals to play against Infinity, and then continuing on with teams like Notorious when Icy was on that team in Gears 3, Gears 4, the Hive roster, and here we are now, a couple of years into Gears 5, and we got Fury 1 doing the same thing. But it's time to shift gears a little bit. One team that's been here before that worked their way from the bottom, but it's been dominating the LATAM scene for quite some time. It's Pittsburgh Knights. They'll be going up live against none other than Team Queso. But first things first, PK, Ribs, talk me through this roster.
Yes, our number one Pro League team coming into this event, the team to beat alongside United. Look at Fearzly. He's the new addition to this team. He has been doing a lot of work for this team. We had an interview with him at the end of last night, and I called him a top 5 Slayer in all Latin America, and he's like, I can't believe the analyst said that about me. I think I am a Lancer player, and I love that about him. He knows that he can help his team in other ways, but we see him get slaying highlights all the time, but we talk about it time and time again. Raver, Dezonide, Monkyz, all of these players can turn up. Dezonide, I want to give a lot of credit to as well, as a player that has improved throughout his career. I thought there was a point where he would reach a ceiling. Gears 4, especially when he was getting top 2 placements, that old Splice roster, then the Knights. I think Dezonide continues to get better and better. I don't know if you agree, Toby, but he just continues to be my favorite player to watch on the Knights, but he's just always making plays for this team. He's their power weapon player. He's their IGL, and he just continues to improve. It's just impressive.
Yeah. And just remember that clip from yesterday on a Fear with a Torpo, right? That was something special against Hive. Sticking a drop shot itself, a drop shot player, when you're that close to them is just such a risky play as it is. But clearly that confidence, that assertion, the years of experience you speak to, rightfully so. It goes to show in his gameplay and, his experience, his age, whatever. It doesn't really seem to phase him. He's going from strength to strength.
Yeah, well said. And yeah, I agree with you, Ribs. That interview with Fearzly was great. The humility he showed, I was really, really impressed. Great English speaking as well. Very confident. You love to see it from a younger player that's been doing it for a few years now. On the flip side, we got Team Queso. Toby, talk me through the Team Queso roster and what they need to do. How can they possibly beat this Titan in the Pittsburgh Knights?
Yeah, they're certainly the underdog, John, in this one. But a really good roster. Clearly, Sleeafer, Problems, Cristalize, Chavii, all were playing incredibly well against Rebel. Remember, they were the only lower half team from the Pro League, right, to actually win maps against a top 5 team yesterday. In fact, they were one round off defeating Rebel yesterday. And Clock Tower, of course, remember Sleeafer with the snipe. Oh my goodness, he was incredible. Cristalize, mind you, he finished 12-6 on that map, and you remember the remaining maps too. Hoping to see Chavii in particular turn up as he's been doing so well. Of course, formerly coming from Hive, he has been a fantastic player himself.
Yeah, well said. The team of 2 relatively newer guns, newer folks to the scene, and Problems and Chavii playing with Cristalize and Sleeafer, who've been doing it for a while. Sleeafer, former member of the Pittsburgh Knights. So it'll be an interesting one. It'll be an interesting one for sure. If we have our keys to victory, perhaps we can start there, but nonetheless, let's just start talking at a high level about what these teams need to do to find success. Starting with the Pittsburgh Knights here. Toby, you take the PK this time. What are their keys to success here?
Yeah, love this pool play success. It was something special seeing them play yesterday. Just like United, these 2 top teams were playing so incredibly well, pretty much flawlessly in map count, right? And also that team fire, right? There is clear confidence on the side of Team K, so I just alluded to it, playing against Rebel in such a strong and dominant fashion. If PK can stick to their guns and really take away that confidence bit by bit, map to map, then they should be able to come away with this with some relative comfort, shall we say.
Similar to what we saw yesterday with the kind of suffocate them with success with teamwork bullet point. I think focus on team fire, very similar in that regard. Ribs on the flip side, Team Queso, the clear underdog in this competition. What do they need to do to take down these guys, the Pittsburgh Knights, who are looking so good?
Team Queso, tough loss to Rebel yesterday. Honestly, that could have been a 3-0. One, they got to put that in the past. They got to understand that was pool play. This is where it matters most. This is champ bracket. Control the pace. Make them play on your terms. And that's so hard to do against the Knights. But yes, if you can take first blood, if you can take the pace, if you can put the Knights off balance, that will help a lot. And then, of course, finish. I'm thinking about Clock Tower. Toby, you talked about Cristalize. He had a great showing. Sleeafer, they had a great showing. But if you remember, in that Clock Tower, Cristalize lost 2 different 1v1s, and those losses, those clutch, especially in execution, those clutch scenarios, if you're not winning those, that gives all of the momentum to your opponent.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
Those scenarios. Go ahead, Toby.
Yeah, I was going to say totally that Rebel are an excellent execution team. They always have been, similar to Pittsburgh Knights in that sense. They're LATAM brethren. But Team Queso had a huge opportunity on Clock Tower. And, many would argue, yeah, they played incredibly well, but they did lose by 1 round in the end. And that round clearly meant a huge amount after losing just 3-2 later on, going towards Canals, a much weaker map, arguably, for them than Clock Tower. So, yeah, I agree. You do need to take chances. It's all good and well having really, really good rounds where you build up that awesome KD that I mentioned too, with the 12-6 from Cristalize, but you need to do a bit more sometimes and win those opportunities when you get them.
Ribs, you've had to pick one player on this Team Queso roster. It's kind of an X factor. It needs to perform, must perform in order to potentially beat the Pittsburgh Knights. Could you pick one player? Who would you pick?
Of course.
Or is it, collective of folks?
No, of course. I wanted to talk about him already as Sleeafer. On the same note that I talked about Dezonide, a player that I played against in Gears 4, a player that I kind of thought I knew what their genetic makeup was. I thought I knew how good of a player they could be. They kind of threw me off for a loop now as an analyst and someone who watches the game. I'm so impressed with the improvement in Sleeafer. He's a power weapon player. He's making shotgun players. He used to be a guy who would just get a kill and then die, or just support for his teammates, or sometimes pick up like a power weapon or Marksa. Now he makes 3-piece plays with his shotgun. He puts up the best stats on his team. He picks up a sniper round in and round out and goes off with it. So Sleeafer, you keep doing your thing. Of course, Chavii problems, you're going to have to slay out. You're going to have to match up with Raver and Fearzly. But I need Sleeafer to go off as well so he can match up with Dezonide.
Yeah, I like that call out. I like that match-to-match, pound-for-pound matchup between Dezonide and Sleeafer. I think those are certainly the 2 players you got to keep an eye out for on each squad, with the addition to the Slayers and the playmakers you typically expect. But it's time for map picks and bans. Let's start with the bans here. Ribs, talk me through which maps were banned and what that means.
Of course, so the Knights are going to ban Reactor Control, get rid of that, so that's not their first map, and they're also going to ban Clock Tower Execution. We saw how strong Queso could be, especially Sleeafer and Cristalize on that map. On the side of Queso, Toby, we're going to see them get rid of Ritual Control, Fira Execution, and Training Grounds Escalation. We saw so much of Fira yesterday. We said 50% map pick, as opposed to the 4% we saw throughout Pro League, so we're not going to see that in this series, though.
Yeah, I love that ban as well from Team Queso, especially on the PK. They are easily the best training grounds team in the game. Easily 4-2 in Pro League. Have to get that one away at the very least, especially considering how well they played on Harbor yesterday. That's for sure too.
Flipping over the map picks here, Toby, walk me through what we're going to see.
Yeah, Regency coming up straight away. No surprise there. Really good team is PK on that map. Canals Execution, it's an interesting one. Honestly, it's actually PK's weakest execution map by far. Remember, Pittsburgh Knights, I would say, are the best execution team in the game. Team Queso have just picked their weakest execution map to play on. Perfect job. Harbor Escalation, interesting. That's for sure after seeing Team Queso's performance beating Rebel yesterday. Rebel actually had the best record on this map for Team Queso to beat them. It's a very confident pick from PK, that's for sure, to go there. District pick from Team Queso. Again, Pittsburgh Knights, they are the best district team. 3-2 in Pro League. They beat Rise, they beat KCP. And also they beat Team Queso in the last Pro League match. So for TQ to just go up and just play that, again, interesting one. An interesting map pool to say the least.
Maybe. Well, as a result of the map pool, it's time for predictions. Will there be an upset? That is the key question. Toby, starting with you. Who do you got winning this one?
Have to go with PK. Just honestly, their map pool, broadly speaking, is just, it's so strong. You know, they don't have a weak mode. Everyone has a quote unquote weak mode. Every single team apart from PK, they just have amazing records in each one. And it's hard to go against them. I didn't see anything in the map pick and ban process that would kind of change my mind. Yes, TQ had an incredible performance yesterday against Rebel, but PK looking as flawless as ever. I think they'll take this one.
Love it. Ribs, how about you? You going for the upset?
No, not this time around. I mean, the Knights, you just can't choose against them until they prove otherwise. The Knights and the United right now are kind of the safest picks in this bracket until proven otherwise. On the side of TQ, I like Canals. We talked about Sleeafer versus Dezonide. Those should be the two snipers, so that matchup we will see on map 2. If they are able to take maps 2 and 3 on the side of TQ, I think they could win in a map 5 scenario. Otherwise, I could see the Knights winning 3-0, 3-1, 3-2. I could just see the Knights closing this one out a lot more confidently than TQ.
Yep, I'd agree with that. I'm going Pittsburgh Knights as well. If I was going to pick any map to call an upset, quote unquote upset, it would have been Fury 1, and I didn't do that. But I can't count against Pittsburgh Knights as much as I would like to. So Pittsburgh Knights, I think across the board we're all agreeing they're looking too strong. They haven't shown any signs of weakness this weekend just yet, especially with this pickup of Fearzly. This is a whole new roster. We'll see if they have it in their DNA to clutch up on Saturday and Sunday, because that's where they've lacked in the past. With that said, the match is just around the corner. But speaking of around the corner, one thing I've been looking forward to for quite some time, ever since the first teaser trailer dropped, is the Batman coming to you live in theaters on March 4th. Take a look.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Gears Winter Major. We are in bracket play Saturday, and so far, so good in the action. I'm Blaze, joined with the fantastic Jacob, as we are about to head into another banger of a matchup. It is going to be Pittsburgh Knights going up against Team Queso, and this is going to be good. But Jacob, that last series, Fury 1 versus Hive, woo, I thought they were going to make that comeback. They were looking good for a second. And Hive, man, they played some perfect gears for the last 7 minutes of that map. Almost got it done.
Yeah, almost looking like a perfect squad. Almost looking like a lot of these players didn't even retire. They didn't have an opportunity to skip a beat there. But Pittsburgh Knights versus Team Queso. And I like the way Ribs on our analyst desk kind of made a shout out to Sleeafer and how well he's been performing. Because I was saying the same thing. Gears of War 4, that was his shell of himself. Since this new game came out, starting in E-League, Gears of War 5, he's taken the scene by horn. He's no longer waiting passively for those opportunities. He's going aggressively and creating those opportunities for his squad.
And you know what? I got to echo everything in which you guys said, because, Sleeafer, in the role in which he played before, he was the ultimate team player for his squads, okay? You knew you could rely on him. But as the years went by, after he perfected that position, he says, you know what? Why don't I go to the front line, slay a little bit, and try something else, Try to be a leader as well. And guess what? He perfected those as well, if you ask me. And he has shown that, no matter the young players he's put around him, he has made them better. Now, I also got to say something about Cristalize too, because he increased his gameplay as well. And watching him over these last few pro leagues, he has stepped up to be an absolute threat. And both of them together, you put some young talent there, they can be successful. So when Sleeafer and Cristalize, when they're playing at their best, you have to be afraid of this Team Queso squad. Now, Sleeafer, he needs his Slayers to start making some plays, because I do think he's at his best when he is at the back line commanding the troops, and he has those marksman rifles. But we're kicking it off. Map number 1 is here, and it's Team Queso coming out with some problems for the Pittsburgh Knights.
Yeah, that's one of the players you said you're looking at. Problems and Chavii, the young guns added to this squad, looking to really be the slayers, because we know Cristalize and Sleeafer can get the job done. They're not scared to get their hands dirty, but it's when everybody is playing perfectly into their roles. It's smooth sailing as Raver connects with the first shot onto Sleeafer, gets caught out of position. Chavii trying to go for a flank. He gets caught out as well. 2 players down and out for Team Queso. It doesn't matter how good of a start that you had. This is the Pittsburgh Knights' chance to get things going.
Raver did a good job staying alive right there, waiting for his teammates' help. Now Cristalize is looking for his teammates' help. They come in the nick of time, but it doesn't work out because Raver, he is the savior this time around, as PK will be able to clean up the kills at P1. 20 points remaining. That won't give them the lead. Team Queso, they get the spawns that they need for next. So far, hey, they're out in the lead, Jacob. Now we need to see what they can do with the lead in which they've built up so far.
Yeah, you got to be able to hold on to that momentum because the early portions of the game, especially hill number 1, that's not indicative of how your opponent or how yourself is really playing to your full potential. But catching Fearzly out on rotation for the next hill, that's going to be important. Forcing both of those frag grenades out of Monkyz would have been great if you could stay alive, but he gets a double kill for his efforts as a triple is going to come in, but that's going to be at the hands of Raver, a full-on wipe as Dezonide finds that forward player, but Team Queso, they get the low respawn, but Raver gets 2 Sleeafer problems back to the Shadow Realm, and this is where they're going to take their numbers advantage, getting out Chavii as well. The Pittsburgh Knights, after a sad and slow hill number 1, waste no time to get things going on the second hill.
Raver is such a terror, man. You know, you give him that M-bar, you need to watch your face, okay? You need to stay in cover. Gears of War converts back into a cover shooter when he has that weapon. You gotta respect the rules. You got Dezonide with a cross from the side, putting out a lot of damage, multiple downs, but the revives are there. PK finally able to acquire 2 of the kills. They got the 3rd down, and there's the team wipe. They'll be able to start collecting on this time, move out, get set up for next. It's going to be problems. Who's going to rotate down low to gold. He's going to give his teammates a spawn up top couches as well. Team Queso, they're in a good position for the next. And this is where that early lead in which you built up off that first team fight works out for you. You know, you traded off 1-1. Even Stevens. Let's see how PK wants to break this defensive setup here from Queso.
Yeah, when I'm looking at PK, I'm really looking at Raver yet again. Not only because he's 6-1 Blaze, don't get it twisted. It's the N-bar play that he's already been showing with that first go around, that first attempt. And Problem's going to be the guy on the side of Team Queso to try to thwart this push attempt because he does have the frag grenades. Raver with a little bit of a slide to go ahead and try to pop that shot. He's going to get dropped. Actually, 3 players of PK get dropped almost instantly as the 4th player is going to go out. That is Monkyz. That N-bar now in the hands of Chavii as hill number 1 went in way of Team Queso. Pittsburgh Knights answered back. So at the start of our 3rd hill, this is going to continue that back and forth action. And I like what I'm seeing because how great the Pittsburgh Knights were in the regular season. Team Queso woke up hungry for this major.
Oh, they truly did. Truly did. Now, Team Queso, they had a great performance yesterday in their matchups. So far, they've been continuing it today. Trying to see if they can get themselves far in this bracket play. Now, you got Chavii, M-bar in hand, trying to connect. He is going to be able to connect with the body shot. Moves in, Monkyz down. Fearzly trying to hold his angle. Raver's behind him. They'll move in and get the kills. The Knights, they'll have to back down. Raver waiting for his teammates to respawn. They'll be behind them. Now, Team Queso, they have this information as well. They're going to just collect on their time and start rotating towards next. They know that the Knights, they're not going to worry about the scrap time at gold.
Luckily, Cristalize is able to position himself back towards the M-bar, but a narrow miss by Chavii. That could have been so fruitful for their hold here, but no, Cristalize is going to go down. Chavii's going to be forced back. Problems, luckily enough, was able to get a kill in the middle of the map, so they're at least able to catch that cushion, center themselves, and allow their player to respawn before they make the second push come in, and that's going to be now Chavii with the last shot in the M-bar. They're narrowing down the back line, trying to get that position and push Raver out. He's going to go down, but so is Problems. Frag grenades are going to be picked up and slowly rotated in this fight, so Team Queso better watch out. You better not shout because Dezonide is going to connect with 1. Sleeafer is going to go down, and the Pittsburgh Knights will get control of yet another hill and an M-bar. They need this, Blaze, to go ahead and answer back after a great hill number 3 hold from Team Queso.
And that was a fantastic retake for the Knights, and they get the power weapon as well. Now, Team Queso, right off the respawn, very decisive about taking control over the spawn side for the next heal. Also putting themselves back in a position to contest. Great call-outs coming from their IGL. That's a good body shot for Raver. Couldn't save his teammate. It's a man advantage for Team Queso. Raver has to pull out the shotty. Trapped by the shot. Trying to take 1 to the grave. He cannot get it done, but he will backpack that M-bar. Team Queso collecting on time. They have to clear out Fearzly. Ooh, he almost connected with the back A, but shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's Cristalize collecting on the time with Team Queso, and they're going to be able to spawn the Knights out on the other side. This is a perfect situation for him currently.
Monkyz going to be on his last down. Dezonide goes down once as well. Monkyz actually gets shot out by Problems. who immediately goes down, and this is the Pittsburgh Knights' chance to go and push into this 3v3. They're pushing Cristalize off, but even though I say they're pushing Cristalize off, Team Queso is just conceding that position. They know how important it is to get towards that next rotation at the bottom half of the map, but they're going to have to do it with down a man, and you can see in your mini-map 4v2, possibly a 4v3. That's a big advantage, but Pittsburgh Knights have to go, and they have to go now.
This is where Team Queso, you know, luckily for them, they're getting some time, but they gave up that spawn side, just getting too aggressive. But the stun is out. Problems trying to break the pack, get between, but he can't get the kill that he needs. And the Knights, they will back up, and on their heels, connected with those L triggers, they will absolutely melt their opponents. Now, collecting on time, they're controlling the spawn side, they're trying to get the nades, and Raver will be able to get there in time and back up to the squad. So with the height advantage in which they have and these frags, these PK, they should be able to get the rest of this time without any issues whatsoever.
Wow.
That's 4.
I want to say, but that grenade was a little too short on the long side, and they saw that second one coming. Raver with an air miss is going to cost PK the rest of that scrap time. Now, I thought I did as well. I thought it was money, but Team Queso, they knew they were the experts in that battlefield, but Monkyz trying to be the silver lining for his team, connecting with a big end bar shot and trying to solidify that backside. If you look in your minimap, they are holding the line, or at least for now, because the setup is in. But Team Queso, they have about 9 seconds before this hill rotates, and if they make this approach sooner rather than later, they will have multiple opportunities to make this push go through. But instead, they're going to let the hill rotate, probably trying to look to gather some weapons so they have a big initial attempt when they finally make it go.
Yeah, Ribs thinking what I'm thinking. It's going to be Sleeafer to make the play, but they're going to be able to angle him out, and they down problems. Here's the pinch. It's the Knights. They're not getting no time just yet. Got Cristalize being a nuisance in the hill. Him and Chavii, they finally go down. The Knights will be able to spread out. The spawns come in from the opposite side. So, Team Queso, with the lead in which they built so far, Jacob, they got to buy, what's that going to be, 50 points? They don't, they have to contest this, and once they do so, they need to rotate down low and start putting themselves in position to contest. They're gonna be losing problems right off the start, and that's gonna be another wipe. So you gotta ask yourself, when are the next power weapons coming up? I think the frags will be the next one. The Knights, they don't know that these players are waiting in the wins. Okay, so just gonna drop back, hold them off. They're actually going to press in and start contesting again. They don't want to waste any time whatsoever. Raver having to back down towards the stairs. Monkyz getting taken out. And Queso, they're going to get majority of these kills. Raver on the flank, couldn't find himself another. Sleeafer in a 1v1.
There's one.
Versus Fearzly. Old teammates. Who comes out on top? Fearzly.
You know what, though, Blaze? Even though they did lose back-to-back contestations on that hill, I still like the effort they put into it, because they're stopping Pittsburgh Knights from getting that maximum amount of time and keeping themselves in the lead, even though it is only going to be 13 seconds. A lead is a lead at the end of the day, and that puts that pressure on your opponents to try to make the play. But Pittsburgh Knights find a way to be first towards this next rotation, but they sacrifice that end bar into the hands of Cristalize. Shock grenade is going to be used early, so Team Queso just has to let the dust settle for a few seconds. That few seconds is going to be a sacrifice for the greater good. So now when they make this push, if they are successful, they're going to get the majority of this time.
The M-bar is going to connect on Monkyz. He has to keep his head down for a bit. Cristalize doing a good job making sure he can suppress those players. Needs to get in there with his teammate Hillman Sleeafer to get the damage. But Sleeafer couldn't save Cristalize, but ultimately he will win the fight. Fearzly gets in there, contests the hill. He has 3 players around him. Gets the down on Sleeafer, but couldn't get the kill. It's Team Queso collecting on time. They'll be able to back down, set up. I think nades will be getting picked up mid-map. Cristalize, he's waiting for anyone to cross his path. They'll be up soon. The Knights need to be careful. Monkyz almost got bamboozled right there. Cristalize is just gonna have to drop back. He'll hold this door. So far, Team Queso has a great setup, Jacob, but the Knights, they're pressing in.
Yeah, it's gonna be A good defensive effort coming out of Team Queso, and a great answer back after a successful hill from the Pittsburgh Knights that narrowed down the score line to make it within 20. And now this next hill is going to give one team a go-ahead towards the end game if they can hold that majority time, as Chavii gets that first elimination onto Monkyz. That allows Cristalize and Sleeafer to comfortably push towards the back spawn and get this angle. They're splitting up the defense. Fearzly is going to go down. Shock grenade to push the rest of the members out. Nobody's able to turn around and get the revive, so Team Queso will once again cement themselves with the position. But Pittsburgh Knights, those two lone members, they escape just in time to get the M-bar in their hands. And like I talked about Team Queso in a prior hill, it's the sacrifice that they're making right now for these seconds to gather the weapons, the frag grenades, and the M-bar, so when they make the push, they have all the resources necessary.
Yeah, they're doing a good job contesting all the objectives on the map. Now, I will say that the Knights did over these last few hills, just coming back into this series, they did great because they were down by a good amount. Now, in the hill, PK will be able to win this battle, taking out Cristalize and Sleeafer. So far, so good. With 20 points remaining, they're going to have to start worrying about next soon. They're going to start pressing out, trying to get these spawns. Team Queso holding the line. PK taking a lot of damage. The Lancer fire, the team fire coming out from Team Queso, proving to be too much for the Knights to get through. They're going to give up the power weapon as well. Team Queso in a great position, keeping the lead in which they got, using it to rotate early, putting themselves in some great spots. They'll trade out these power weapons, and they know exactly where PK is going to be spawning. Oh my God. What a shot from Sleeafer.
I will say, though, the silver lining, the glass half full way to look at it right now is they try to make that push with about 17 seconds left on the hill. Yeah, they got Dusted Blaze, but they have more than enough time to try to get in position as the hill just now rotates on over. Less than 50 seconds remain. Sleeafer connects with yet another shot, and that's why I say J-Ribs knows exactly what he's talking about. And he experienced it all, and he even experienced those early moments of Sleeafer trying to prove his dominance.
Every mark that they get, they understand the play. They know exactly what PK has to do. That's great damage. That's a beautiful body shot. Problems playing his angle super wide. Chavii has his back, and now you see a desperation play from Dezo, but he loses the 1v1 to Cristalize. 20 more points needed for Team Queso to strike first in this series. The Knights, they are trying to make a mad dash across the map, but they have to be perfect. They have to dodge these shots. Here comes the smokes, the flashes, a second to get in. The line, it gets broken, but can they get through and get the kills? That's a big one for Dezonide, but he finally goes down in Team Queso. They'll take map number 1. Whew.
That was a very intense map, but Blaze, it just goes to show how well Team Queso came to play during this major. And it doesn't matter if he took first in the regular season during the Pro League and you're the Pittsburgh Knights, you cannot sleep on your opponent. You cannot let up off the gas, because all they need is that inch so they can go ahead and stretch it into a mile. And Team Queso, throughout the course of that map number 1, were ahead of the Pittsburgh Knights every step of the way.
They truly were, right? And so we saw what Team Queso was able to do after that first hill, okay? They start off with a good initial. They go up about 40 to 20, all right? They get white, but they get a great spawn on P2. Now, even though they can test that hill and it didn't work out for them the best, those next 2 hills after that, they build a good lead. But even with the slight lead in which they had, they never broke the fundamentals, okay? They stuck to the fundamentals. That was making sure that they played for the power weapons, making sure that they played for the spawns. Even if they only had a 20-point lead, they said a lead is a lead. We still have to play meta. And by doing that, they stayed ahead of the Knights, and they never got full control. And so Team Queso, man, they just stay patient, won their fights, hit their shots, play some damn good gears.
And I feel like a lot of the M-bar shots, a lot of the power weapon plays that Sleeafer was able to connect. You saw Raver. Raver was going off with it, right? So don't get me wrong. Yeah, it was his impactful play. It was the timing in which everything was going down. He was going ahead at the last, resetting these players from being able to push in. He was taking out the shot grenade players. So I just think, even though Raver, like I said, he did go off, he did make plays, but the impactful eliminations came off the hands of Sleeafer, and that's something that you cannot say enough of.
Yeah, and I don't even know why we're saying a but, you know? Like, yeah, Raver did good, but he lost, okay? You know, now if he does the same performance in map number 2, we'll gas him up again. But in order to put those impactful plays that you're talking about in another perspective, imagine if you're in the Knights, right? And you're that last second push and Dezonide or Monkyz, they're calling a play. It was like, all right, you know, we're about to go make this push in 3, 2, headshot. Like, oh, okay, wait, I'm coming off a respawn. All right, we're about to make this play in 3, 2, headshot. Oh my God, you know what, just go. You know, it's that type of frustration on the comms where you think that, you know, things are about to go well, but those individual kills that that Team Queso was creating was applying that pressure across towards PK, and they can never get comfortable, all right? And that's what you can do when you have even just small leads in maps like that, in Control and Escalation. And if you know how to amplify that feeling, hey, the map should be easy, okay? Hell, you guys should be breezing through the series.
Yeah, definitely. And there was definitely 2 different moments. One early on in the game and one at the very end where Raver, he was putting in work with that M-bar, but he got eliminated. And he got eliminated in a way that the M-bar was out. And you can kind of see it towards the end. It wasn't Sleeafer who necessarily picked it up at first, but the team exactly knew whose hands to put it in to make that perfect play and to make the stop at the very end. So coming into this next map, on Canals, we know who's going to get the sniper from Team Queso. We know who's going to get the sniper from the Pittsburgh Knights, but I wonder who on the Pittsburgh Knights is going to make the plays elsewhere on the map, and are they going to be able to kind of dodge Sleeafer and his sniper shots?
Oh, and you know, that's a great question, okay? We know that Fearzly is going to be very, very aggressive up on top of that mid-bridge, playing from the low side. Raver loves to play on his island high side, and he also knows that Dezonide is going to be behind him with that snipe. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how they play off the start, because I think Dezonide is going to try to challenge Sleeafer on the 1v1 snipe battle. But, you know, all snipers know on Canals, once you pick up the scope, you could just take the pocket that's at the top of the stairs, closest to the stairs on the high side, take the pocket, and you can snipe the entire mid-bridge for free, have a peace of mind, don't have to worry about the guy, you know, the sniper trying to take the 1v1 on the opposite side unless he pushes all the way across the connectors. But if you focus that, then all you got to do is just keep taking shots and helping your teammates out on mid-bridge. You know, all you got to do is hit body shots, okay? And from there, your front spawn slayers can get the job done. But at the end of the day, we'll see how they decide to play it. But it's really going to be a chess match between both these squads. Even though these rounds are going to be kind of fast to start, they will slow down, and we will see the little adjustments in which they make.
Yeah, I like the way you say they will slow down, especially if we get towards the closing portions of the actual map. That's when you see teams kind of employ different strategies. They go down low, they try to do different tricks, and they do slow it down, because if they have the weapons or maybe they're at a disadvantage, they're trying to force their opponent to try to make a mistake. And on Canals, that's not the easiest thing to do, but at the same time, when you're that big power weapon player, whether if it's the sniper in the hands of Sleeafer, you get those shots, you get those opportunities because of the way those close quarters combat does go down.
All right, folks, map number 2. We'll see if the Knights can get this series all tied at 1-1, or if Team Queso is gonna just take another map in this series once again. Quick first blood from Dezonide. He'll take down Problems on the mid-bridge. 3v3 situation, and you also got Fearzly being taken out off the start. Now, this is what me and Jacob was talking about, is slowing down. Oh, you see a Cristalize trying to make a play down low, but Dezonide, being Raver's guardian angel, he'll be able to get the down kill cleaned up. Sleeafer trying to connect with the headshot. He can't get it done, and Dezo will take his head off.
That was a very important shot by Sleeafer. Not the first one that he hit. He's obviously accurate as can be on that one. But the second one, that's the difference maker. Because then if he gets the down onto that player, his teammate's able to stay alive a little bit longer. And he doesn't even have to necessarily go for the elimination straight away. He can toy with it, because at that stage in the game, it's a 2v2. Dezonide's still forced to make those decisions. But the Pittsburgh Knights, after losing map number 1, they show they still have life.
Showing that they still have life. Dezonide coming out with multiple plays. You can almost credit him for 3 kills in that round. Both snipers worrying about that fight at the mid-bridge. This was the pocket I was talking about. They don't even have to worry about each other. Just try to stop the nade pickup. Get as many shots as you can. Try to make the easy play. Cristalize got down in the water, trying to get the bow. It's advantage PK. Chavii in the high side trying to make a play for his team. He'll get the down, but no one's close enough. Oh, Sleeafer couldn't catch the revive. He's not going to get another opportunity like that. Dezonide, shimmy in the mid-bridge. He has to poke up. He can't hit the shot from that angle. He has to stand.
Problems getting spotted out from a mile away. 4v2. They definitely have the angles. And I don't like Sleeafer in Problem's position. They're just so split up right now. But that's going to be able to kind of turn the tides just a little bit, making Problem's job that much easier. But he's still in a 1v2 situation across the map.
No, that's a 2v2.
Big flank potential. Yeah, it is a sniper, but the thing about Problems is, you know as well as I do, he has to stay in the corridor to allow Sleeafer to still get those shots. If he pushes up, then yes, I agree with you. That's when it becomes a 2v1.
Hey, man, on connect shit. Hey,
I mean, you're the expert. You're the professor when it comes to Canals.
Were ever in a 1v1 on this map if I was alive. That's all I'm saying, okay? It was never it may look like a 1v1, but it was never a 1v1. As
He's still connected, though.
Down Sleeafer, but Sleeafer hits a big-time shot. Problems, he's going to pick up the scope and cover. Oh, actually, it may have fell over the bridge.
Yeah, I was about to say, did it go over? That's so unfortunate.
It's a new one coming up. 2 seconds. He'll have a fresh clip. Dezonide was looking for that side roll. But this is where he has to shoot from low to high. He knows that Dezonide is going to take the shot. He's got to pre-fire it. Fearzly stays disciplined, and he doesn't even peek the cover. That's what I mean by applying pressure right there. Yeah, right? Just don't give up the easy play, because then that's the play your opponent's looking for, moving up, and then once he gets closer, he's like, what the hell? You're not going to try to shoot me?
I love the way you said that, though, about applying pressure, because that's a very unorthodox way to apply pressure. Because one, people would look at it getting aggressive, trying to suffocate him with angles, with lancer shots, but not giving him the opportunity for the headshot when overtime is coming up. That's a different type of pressure. Exactly. I love you, Blaze. Let me just say that one time.
You gotta always put yourself in your opponent's shoes. That's why, like, when it comes down to taking man advantages, you got to always think, every player on your team, how can we make this guy feel uncomfortable? What's the nerdy play? Oh, Sleeafer gets some revenge from downtown, connected with the headshot. He's looking to help his teammate out in the connector. He'll get the body shot, clean up. It's a man advantage for Team Queso as Raver rotated on the low side. The bow's going to be in his hands as well, and we know that's his favorite weapon. Ooh, Problems. Oh, Raver! He says, I don't need a sniper to take a battle with you. He doesn't know he's in the pillars. He does not. He does not. Now he does. He connects with the splash damage. A quick bow. I think that was his last.
What they have to do right now, if they have another frag grenade, they need to lock him in there while they try to push up on him. But it looks like they're on 2 different pages. Cristalize and Problems kind of backtracking in their steps. Probably waiting for overtime, Blaze.
I learned this one from Fatal Strike. Oh, he picked up the snipe. He backed up. They don't know he got it, though.
He still has to play aggressive, though. He cannot back down. Overtime still on that side of the map. He's staying spotted. Information is crucial for Team Queso. They cannot lose sight of Raver here, because that's the moment Raver is looking for. That separation into a 1v1. And with a sniper, you can get that 1v1 across the map.
Oh, he gets the body shot. He knows he needs to get the down and reset. He misses the shot that he needed on the third, and his Team Queso getting themselves their first round on the board. And here we go. This is going to be back and forth between these squads on this map. Strap yourself in, folks. This is going to be a long series.
Kind of digest that a little bit. Already you got Team Queso running their traditional strats, being able to kind of answer the call just a little bit. Pittsburgh Knights, who've already run a few down low strats. They've already shown that they want to get that torque bow in their hands, and it looks like they're going to do it again. They're sending 3 players down low to try to disrupt that middle bridge fight. We're going to jump on board Fearzly, who gets first blooded, but Raver wastes no time trying to even up the score. 3v3, but he gets taken down. Combination of teamwork with Cristalize and Chavii, who go back-to-back in terms of eliminations, leaving Dezonide by himself. But one moment, that's all it takes with a headshot to even up the tides.
No, I want to see this from you. Yeah, there you go, right there.
Action has to go down with Dezonide. He's the last one left.
Yeah, we know that they got the easy play, but how he gonna do this one? He has to pre-fire, but he doesn't know he's on the corner just yet. Checking his angles, knows the mid-bridge player's there, but was not expecting Chavii in a connector, and that's a tied up 2-2. So, going there towards the last round, It is First Blood coming out from Problems because he's coming out his stun first. Raver gets the next kill, but then quickly traded up for Team Queso to get that man advantage. And from there, it's just really them trading out their numbers. And they did a good job being quick and decisive about taking the fights in which they needed to. We'll see how this next round breaks out. It's a lot of players low side, especially on the side of PK.
Like the way Dezonide still trying to take control and have his presence on towards middle bridge. He has a clear line of sight of anybody that does pop up. Dezonide is trying to guard the down low. Sleeafer gets tagged up. Problems trying to fire those shots, Blaze. This is the longest standoff with both snipers kind of having options here.
Yeah, but they have options, but it's really not too many. Sleeafer needs to go 1v1 with Dezo and not allow his teammates to get shot because he only has the play of, you know, just keeping their heads down. But you will see the rotation there towards the mid, and Dezo doesn't hit the shots in which he needs, and sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles because if you're gonna sit there and go for the, you know, headshots, you gotta hit them sometimes and they don't fall.
And as soon as he took that shot cross bridge onto Sleeafer, that's when the players on the middle bridge took that play. Knowing the timing between shots is absolutely crucial, and they played it to perfection to put themselves in a 2v1 situation. And this is where Sleeafer, he's gonna hold on to that middle bridge, hold and possess the angle to shoot towards this top water steps onto Dezonide, but he's gonna try to push in. This is gonna force the rotation from both of these players to try to reunite, but once again, Sleeafer has to be careful not to peek that corner. Frag grenades are going to be picked up. They're going to be tossed. Dezonide is going to be pushed back yet again. 30 seconds till overtime. He continues to fight long and hard to try to survive, but that frag grenade towards the backside is going to push him into the pistol shots of both Cristalize and Sleeafer. They're going to end that round and go 3 straight rounds in a row to take the lead, 3-2.
Yeah, PK to kick off that round. They sent 3 down low to let Dezonide anchor on his snipe bridge and keep those players' heads down. Then on the flip side, Sleeafer, he could have matched up and kind of went 1v1 with him, but instead, he made a quick decision to rotate low side and get immediately in the fight. You know, he had a scope out, but he just stayed mobile with it and found his angles. So he created the opportunity for his team. They come out on top. Problems, he gets stunned by a second flash and has to back down. Fearzly will be able to get mid-bridge peacefully. He's trying to figure out where the snipe is so he can get those nades, but Sleeafer doesn't have his, well, he has his eye on him now, so he'll be okay.
I like this spread from Team Queso. The only one I'm kind of worried about is Problems in towards the water. Yeah, that's exactly why. They're trying to go for that torque boat play again. Raver is going to be the only one trying to get that crossfire to stop him. He was the only one in the water with 2 players on towards the middle bridge, but that gives up the frag grenades, Blaze, and that's a trade torque boat for frags.
Yeah, Dezonide's presence just on the mid-bridge, Sleeafer respected him and says, okay, you can have those nades. You know, I'm not going to, you know, give you a free shot, especially after we just got the bow. Yeah. You know, give us some time to work with on the clock. 44 situation. The Knights trying to get this tied up. One bow missed. A quick rev is not going to connect. It's multiple nades being tossed at the bottom of the mid-bridge. Sleeafer gets a headshot on low side. Dezonide trying to find a 1v1 against them. It's going to be a back A from Chavii to connect. 4v2 Team Queso. They have the advantage. They just need to utilize their numbers and go out the rest of the players. Monkyz gets taken out, and Dezonide will be the last one left towards the back of the spawn. It's actually Raver. Team Queso. They go up 4-2.
It doesn't matter. Raver, Dezonide, that's an advantage that's so hard to fight back from, especially with the momentum that Team Queso has. Like you said, 4 straight rounds in a row, and it's Big Papi Sleeafer making the play round after round, Blaze, and it's got to make you proud going to having the patience, the presence of knowing when to aim at Dezonide, when to take the shots at those middle bridge, and I think we need to have some sort of a masterclass where you breaking down Canals for us so everybody can have that type of knowledge.
Bro, I think, I want to say officially, oh my God, Dezonide says, hold up, Blaze, before you say that, but I'm going to say it anyway, okay? Team Queso, they are the better team in this series, right? Oh my, Dezo, I just wanted to get it out, okay?
Blaze, I'm not going to say it. He's trying to tell you something.
Okay, I'm going to let it play out. I'm going to let Team Queso win the map before I say it. I won't do it.
Oh, Dezonide, just try me. Try me. You see what I've done so far.
But come on, like, they playing well.
They are. And because of those quick Couple headshots from Dezonide. They waste no time, take the numbers advantage. Sleeafer is trying to even up the tides, but
no problem.
it's just too late. It's just too late. Even though Sleeafer got a headshot, it's too late. The numbers are just slowly surrounding him.
Around.
As soon as he took his eyes off those players in towards those pillars, they just swarmed. They just slowly pushed up.
I'm gonna tell you, Jacob, because he felt what I felt, and I think what every other player felt who was watching this, that Team Queso may be about to do this and have that 2-0 pressure on him. But Dezonide, being a pro that he is, he says, no, let me alleviate some of that pressure, okay? Let me release some of that, get some headshots, has an all-star round, lets his team know that we in this series. Oh my God, Sleeafer on the other side says, don't worry, let me shut you down quickly because we're gonna do it.
You know as well as I do.
We're gonna go up 2-0, and I'm gonna respond myself with another shot. Now you see Raver trying to scurry away. Sleeafer, he says, I'm gonna get 3 of my own. He knows the players to his right. He misses, but he gets taken out. And now a 3v2 situation. Monkyz, he'll get a scope. He wants to play ball as well. But can he keep up with the big boys?
Yeah, first time really seeing the sniper today in the hands of Monkyz on towards Canals or Dezonide. He gets popped off quick. And that's the thing I was going to say. You know as well as I do, when you peek up for that first time and give away your position, you better get something for it. Dezonide peeked up, didn't take the shot. He peeked up the second time. Sleeafer said, nah, fool me once.
Because you peek up and you line, okay? You line your shot up, okay? That's what you get. Sometimes you peek up and it's like, all right, I'm leveled. All right, so next thing you know, when you're timing your opponent's peak, because everybody got a pattern to it, how they want to look around the map. But once you get the time, you hit that pre-fire because you line, that's how you win big 1v1. But he had that one lined up, wasn't quick enough. He focuses on the low side. Monkyz goes up to help his teammate. He's in a 1v3, me shield out. This is his favorite position, another down, but it's Chavii who gets the last shot.
5-3. Team Queso is up over the first place regular season Pittsburgh Knights, and this is no longer pool play. This is championship bracket. A loss here can really take a blow to the Pittsburgh Knights ego, who is thinking this might be our time, this might be our season, this might be our chance to hoist the trophy. And just like that, in the blink of an eye, they're down 1-0, 1 round away from going down 2-0 and putting themselves deeper into a hole, and the pressure is now on. Monkyz gets the torque bow. Dezonide has the sniper in hands, but it does look like the Pittsburgh Knights have slowed down their aggressive attempts towards that middle bridge.
PK did get the snipe. Monkyz goes for a quick bow, couldn't connect. Both snipers will take that comfortable pocket to try to make some plays on the mid bridge, but now Sleeafer goes mobile. Dezo knows that he needs an impactful play, a big shot. Sleeafer took him out first in the last round, but it's Dezonide who needs to get it done over the next 2. The flashes go low. Sleeafer can't connect with the body shot, but Dezo, he'll take down problems as he was shimmying across the bridge. And this is the advantage that PK need. You call him out, he steps up.
Ooh. Even though that torque bow didn't connect, that's splash damage. You're testing him. I thought he connected with that torque bow. Dezonide still being back down, but Dezonide holding this angle, this presence, is going to force 2 people to continuously chase him. Now Monkyz holds the angle. Torque bow being revved. A near miss. 3 players going in. Dezonide being pressured. Team down coming in from Raver. That's going to cost them the man advantage.
He was going down anyway. Monkyz trying to make the play. In the water, connects with a good L trigger, but he has to back down. It's 26 seconds left on the clock, and I don't know if anyone knows where that neutral hill is, but PK, they're backing up towards the middle of the map, trying to get composed, trying to regain, get on the same page, but it's Sleeafer trying to make a play from the side. He can't get it done. Chavii connects. Raver goes down. It's a 1v2. Fearzly trying to make a dash, but Sleeafer with 1 shot connects with the body. Fearzly, he has to rotate around, get his health back. He's trying to get the wrap shot, but can he get in? He can't get it done. And it's Team Queso rising from the grave, letting them know that this is not gonna be an easy task. They go up 2-0 in this series. Now the Knights in a difficult spot. How they gonna claw their way out of this one? Folks, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're heading on over towards Harbor Escalation, where the Knights, They're gonna have to put on their best game face to take down this tough Team Queso squad. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Gears 5 Winter Major. We're currently going up against Team Queso in the Pittsburgh Knights. We're sitting back in our seats watching this awesome matchup as Team Queso up 2-0, Jacob. And we did not expect them to be in this position. Everybody clearly said, hey, the Knights, they got this one. Easy, 3-0, 3-1, no problem. And somewhere, they did not factor in problems himself. He's been having a fantastic series, and John is like, why am I not trusting my gut? Why do I keep going with what everybody else is going with when he clearly has the vibe for the upset so far?
Hey, when you got it, you got it, Blaze. And Fallout at one point or another, man, he has it from being one of the best players in the game multiple times, being against some of the best players in the game. So he's definitely been down a long journey, just like yours himself. But that's also why he is the host of the major. But that's one thing I think the Pittsburgh Knights have to start doing. They got to take a lesson from Fallout over there. They got to start trusting their gut in a lot of these plays, because after those first 2 maps, they're just seemingly on a different page. They're just not looking like the same Pittsburgh Knights we've seen throughout the regular season.
Yeah, they definitely aren't. They have started today off slow, and they have put themselves in a sticky situation, a cheesy situation, if you may say. Now, Harbor Escalation is coming up, followed by District Control, and there is a player on their squad. Actually, I'm just gonna say it's Raver, right? Raver on Harbor Escalation, he has to take over. He takes over, he'll set the night up for success every round. They need to win that in a dominant fashion and get themselves going. Then they move on over towards District Control, a map where Raver controls the low side so well, but Monkyz does a fantastic job on the high side of the map. So if they have a great cycle lined up, and I believe that was Tomb on map 5 also. These last 3 maps is set up for PK to put on a show. But are they ready to put on a show? Okay, we praised them so much, especially in that last tournament when they were the best squad in bracket play next to our victors in the Pioneers, when they showed up with their last teammate in Chaos outside of Fearzly, and they were upsetting everybody. Okay, they wasn't losing an Escalation, they wasn't losing an Execution, but right now, they're not looking like themselves, and they're not looking like the squad they need to be to win a chip. So now the Knights, your back's up against the wall. Show us what you're made of. Show us that you want to be champions. All right, the fresh jerseys on your back, embody them, fill them. Let's see those fangs.
And honestly, Blaze, I think the first half of this Harbor Escalation is going to be very, very telling of the Pittsburgh Knights' chances at a comeback here, because even if we end up 2-2, it's how these rounds go out. What life we see in the Pittsburgh Knights. Do they continuously look like they're on different pages, or have they fixed those mistakes? And I like the way you pointed out the map cycle, because not only do the actual maps kind of give the Pittsburgh Knights an opportunity back into the series, they're going to be forced on 3 different game modes to come up with the perfect blueprint and plan to force this comeback and this reverse sweep. So that is also so many different sparks that if they win this series, that could be what they use to fuel themselves the rest of this tournament.
All right, folks, here we go. It's map number 3. And we are either about to see something epic in Team Queso 3-0 in the Knights to kick off bracket play, or we're going to see the beginning of what could be an epic comeback, the best that we have seen so far in this tournament. It's Problems versus Raver, and Problems has been rising to the occasion so far throughout the entirety of the tournament. He'll back up PK, but the Knights, they plan for this. It's Dezonide wrapping around the top stern for the pinch. They got 3 players exactly where they want them, but they got to put out the damage. It's Sleeafer getting first blood on Dezo, now backing up to help his teammates. He pulls out the Lancer, and he'll be able to take down Monkyz and put his squad up.
Already, that pressure is going to be felt around the map. Fearzly has no other choice but to get aggressive, and that's going to be a big victory over Chavii towards this neutral hill, and that's going to be able to buy his team enough time off of that respawn to go ahead and protect themselves from that possible triple cap domination, but it doesn't protect themselves from a 2-1 hill capture start for Team Queso. But Cristalize going down just in the nick of time. Monkyz is going to go ahead and bleed him dry, and that's going to give them the go-ahead man advantage. So they need to figure out where they want to push, and they need to figure it out fast.
we're starting to see Team Queso try to prioritize that B hill, but it's PK with 3 players in this side of the map, and they got Monkyz on the flank. That'll be an easy kill on Sleeafer, and they'll have a 3rd player being able to flank and make that a 3v2. Team Queso, they back up. They're waiting for all players to come off for respawn. Monkyz a little bit too aggressive. Fearzly's gonna get taken out soon as well, but it's Dezonide to try to save the day. He'll be able to pick up Fearzly. Sleeafer with the Lancer from spawn. He loses his teammates. He can't press up just yet, and luckily for them, it's gonna be the overextension. Well, the B hill never got decapped when those players pressed out.
This is where they got to be careful. Dezonide tried to backtrack for that B hill. That gives up the pressure over towards the home hill. Fearzly overstays his welcome. He goes down. Raver is feeling the pressure in terms of damage, forced to back up and give up the entirety of the map. And that's where Team Queso has the split. They're trying to take a 2v2 towards the bottom half of the map. That's not going to scare Monkyz. He's not going to back down because he knows if they can successfully hold this position, the rest of the team will be able to catch up. But a huge flank coming through from Team Queso. That'll solidify that neutral hill and keep the lead within their grasp.
Raver's trying to make the perfect play and get this home hill decap. PK realized that they made a mistake. They were too aggressive before they completed their checklist plan for the domination, and that was making sure that they can capture the B hill and slaying out one more time off the respawn. Raver, by pressing over towards his opponent's side of the map, he was able to buy his team some time to get their home hill back. But Team Queso, being in the later portions of this round, with 2 hills to their name, hey, they're in a great spot to close it out. And this kill coming in from Sleeafer, he just made it that much harder for him. PK, I don't think they can make the perfect play in this situation. And Jacob, Team Queso is going to strike first.
Continuing on with the momentum, that's why I said on the side of the Pittsburgh Knights, these early rounds are going to be telling. And already with it being 3 minutes, they're not going down without a fight, I can tell you that much. But you can see they're still struggling within their game plan. They almost had the full-on trap. Dezonide backtracking towards B wasn't necessarily the wrong play, right? It's that the fact that everybody wasn't on the same page. He backtracked and gives up the 4v2 to where they got lost. Raver almost got taken down. They did lose somebody in the hands of Fearzly, and that opened up Team Queso's comeback opportunity late in the game. So Pittsburgh Knights, they have to continue to tighten up here.
Man, I just gotta say, Sleeafer had damn near 6k damage in round 1. Okay, he put in a lot of work. Now he's up top, shooting down. He'll be able to get 1 kill, 2 kills. Actually, give him a 3-piece. He's on a flank, putting some shots in for his teammate already. Fearzly can't do anything about it, and he's on his opponent's home hill. Trip cap domination coming through off the back of a perfect start from this Team Queso squad.
It's not a call, Blaze. It's definitely a warning. A warning that Team Queso right now is giving over to the Pittsburgh Knights. We're up 2-0 from 3 minutes to 38 seconds. No matter how long it takes, we're here to get the job done. And for the Pittsburgh Knights, I know everything deep down in their hearts. I know every analyst. I know every Twitch chat participant did not expect anybody to be in this position. But in order to be a champion, Blaze, you know they have to dig deep, and I think this is the moment. So the Pittsburgh Knights are going to have a major to remember. This is the chance that they have to dig deep.
This is it. This is it. I almost called a reverse sweep earlier today. I'm not feeling this one just yet. Not yet, but we'll see if PK can get me on their side. Problem says, you know what? I'm gonna give them some more problems. They gotta worry about some more tasks they have to accomplish, some more hurdles they gotta get over. As he takes down Dezonide, Raver gets the double down though. That quickly, it's evened up into a 2v2 as Chavii is gonna back down, knowing he can't capture the B hill just yet, but he put some good damage on Fearzly. He wants to fight for his life and not get angled out, but he did his best. It's PK able to capture up the neutral hill, and now they can slow this map down a bit.
They know they don't have what it takes to kind of push forward, and they also know they don't have to, Blaze, just like you said. They're going to wait for Team Queso to go ahead and spawn back up and try to figure out where their push is, and that's going to be Monkyz' job here with the high ground, spotting out every single player rotating, going and peppering up Cristalize, spotting him out, and that's where he sees that third member rotate on over, and he's setting himself up knowing this push is underway.
You got the Knights with some great angles. They're going to be able to see this push coming from a good distance. These flashes, they need some good connections, but they want. That's an early down on Problems. Monkyz puts up his Lancer and hits some great shots with the Chavii. That's 3 down on the side of Team Queso, and Sleefer's the last one standing. He has to press forward and take a big 1v1. He hits a good shot. He's in a great position before he gets flanked, but the Retro Lancer comes in the nick of time. That's going to be PK finally getting on the board. You got to build off of this one, though, Jacob.
Yeah, and I like the way they did it in this round. It was pretty convincingly for the most part. Yeah, they did take their time step by step, but a lot of those battles were secured without a shadow of a doubt. But I like the way, like I said, Monkyz with his position towards the top side. And for anybody out there, you're kind of wondering, it's your positioning and the information that was so important there. It wasn't necessarily cleaning up the kills. Obviously, that was a huge part in closing out the round. But you saw as soon as that third player came off a respawn and they rotated over towards the top half, he backtracked. He made the call for the team that the push was going to come through. And they had 3 Lancers on point to stop them dead in their tracks.
Raver, he's going to take a different route this round. He's going towards top stern. The flash won't connect, but he gets the angle. He gets the map positioning that he wanted, and he'll be able to hold this. On the bottom side, Dezonide going up against Problems. It's a covered battle, but he's getting some good L triggers over the cover. That's a great shot. His teammates on the flank, and that's going to be PK with a 2-man advantage. They're going to start angling out Chavii on the low end so he can get the B-Hill captured. But Monkyz wants to play for the domination. The Knight that quickly to get this one all tied up. They'll respond back from that second round where Sleeafer absolutely went off. And I think we're all evened up here in this map number 3 as far as momentum goes.
Yeah, the thing about this too is it all tied up before the half. This could have easily been a 3-1 in the side of the Pittsburgh Knights. I kind of bring us back to a few rounds ago to where they had the setup on the hill. They had 3 players, but it was Dezonide who tried to backtrack for the neutral hill instead of holding the position and try to Lancer those players off a respawn to retake their home hill. And like I said, it wasn't necessarily Dezo going back, but it was just everybody not being on the same page. 2 rounds later, Blaze, it looks like they're not only on the same page, but they're in the same paragraph in the same book.
Okay, we'll see if this novel is going to play out exactly the way the Knights wanted to. So far, when it comes down to weapon placements, standard for what we see on Harbor. No centerline power weapons just yet, but I'm sure we'll see some going into the second half, especially when it comes down towards if you can't win this fight up top, put something mid-map, open this entire that entire space up for your team to be able to make some plays. Now, 4v4. It's going to be a Team Queso getting control over top E. They should be able to get that capture. Problems trying to see if he can help his teammate out down low.
So lost at the opening strategy of the Pittsburgh Knights. They sent Dezo in the middle of the map, but I think Chavii might have spotted him out early with that bull talk and basically stopped any sort of flank push from coming through, and that puts the Pittsburgh Knights in a weird spot to where they gave up the 2-1 hill advantage over to Team Queso, and they have to telegraph their push from a mile away. Great bolt talk shot from Chavii yet again. Great cross from the top side of the map to make his life that much easier, but the Wolfpack coming through. The Pittsburgh Knights will outlast the damage to retake the Team Queso home hill and give them the go-ahead 2-1 advantage, but they have about 20 points of a deficit to overcome.
Yeah, Team Queso, they understood the assignment, but they couldn't complete it. Like you said, Jacob, the Wolfpack from the Knights was just a little bit too strong. The down came in, but an immediate revive negated that damage and got that player back into the fight. Problems had to backtrack to clear out his side of the map. That's going to give up the top stern over towards the Knights. And for a second, we saw a trip cap coming through, but it is going to be Team Queso getting their home hill back. And that's the setup that they're going to play for. They got Chavii on top of the D hill. Cristalize is going to join them. They should be able to, they should double cap this without any issues. It's Lancer fire coming from multiple directions. They got plenty of problems, but one will be on their squad. And that's the one that they're going to have to need to go off. He's going to be on the opposite side of the map. He may have to take some pressure off that top stern because that Lancer fire from the mid-map, that's not allowing his teammates to get the capture, but they did get it, though.
I like how as soon as that capture came through, you can see in your minimap, Fearzly immediately tries to beeline across the map, knowing that Lancer Fire isn't going to do much anymore. And you see Dezonide trying to follow suit, but Problems trying to anchor that angle deep in his spawn. That is a perfect play. As soon as Sleeafer has the T, but Dezonide with a flash catches him off guard. That is going to sideline him and get him out of commission for now, as Dezonide still hunting down as they're taking their time. Problems now in a 2v1 situation here, but Problems not getting aggressive, buying time for reinforcements come off respawn was a great opportunity, unable to execute to perfection. So Pittsburgh Knights will regain at least one of those two hills. Crossing from across the map, they're going to get their home hill back as well as Team Queso begin to crumble before our very eyes, as Sleeafer doing what he can to keep his team alive, but they're not going to be thriving here. They have to still make a cohesive push to end this game.
He needs to win a 1v1, and they need their home hill back. That's a great flash, and he should. Oh, he's going to play up on that, but he couldn't. The cross from the side. Tries to get back to cover. Can't get it done. He'll lose the E-hill, but his teammates had a difficult job on top of the home hill as well. That's the Knights winning 3 rounds in a row to take the momentum back in this map number 3. And now they're feeling a little bit more comfortable in this series, but the job's not over. They have to stay consistent.
And you said something last round, maybe not now in that last round, but you said this could be the time that we see Team Queso put that weapon down. And typically it is a sniper in the middle of the map, and that would put him down a weapon placement from the retro. But if a sniper is down in the middle of the map, there is no time to grab that retro. So even though it is going to affect the later portions of the game, when it comes to this initial, both teams will still be evenly matched. So this is Team Queso's best chance to stop the momentum that the Pittsburgh Knights have been able to build over the past 3 rounds.
Okay, so we'll see if they can set up the perfect play. Both squads will spread out. It's man-on-man across the whole map, and Raver will win his 1v1 against Problems. Dezonide knows that he has help on Sleeafer, so he won't get it too aggressive. Sleeafer times that play perfectly on the left side, but he couldn't get around the corner in time to get the meat shield. The sniper there towards the middle. Monkyz will be able to pick it up. He gets the down, and now the Knights moving towards the home hill. Chavii's the last one left standing. It's Monkyz and Fearzly have him angled out. That's the down. Problems off the respawn. He gets pressured. He goes down. He gets the revive. He goes down again. But up top on the other side of the map, the Knights will capture E. D's locked in, and that's going to be their 4th round in a row. 1 away from getting their first map.
Like I said, depending on how this one goes, it's going to be really telling about life left in the Pittsburgh Knights. 4 straight rounds in a row, even with a weapon placement in the center of the map. Team Queso trying to change things up. It ended just as quick as the prior round, so definitely the pressure's on, especially since they're now down a weapon placement. Incendiaries are going to be upgraded, given that instant kill potential, whether if it's directly on the initial or after the fact. That is still a difference maker tool that I know a team like the Pittsburgh Knights are going to utilize.
You know, that's one of those situations where instead of putting a sniper down mid-map, you possibly put incendiaries up top. You know what I'm saying? You put two incendiaries at stern. Regardless, you're gonna block your opponent off from placing it on their home hill, but you know you'll at least have some power weapon to fight for in the middle. Even if it's not the one you want, you know how to work them all. So maybe something in a different series. But as far as this one goes, Raver, he said he had to take over. The last round he did. This round, Problems is going to retaliate and give his team that first blood that they need to move for that domination. And they're trying to quickly respond, as well as the Knights did in the previous round, to show them that we're not out of this series, and it's not going to be that easy for you to close it out, to come back in it. They got all the players crossed out, but where's the kills? Where's the downs that they need? There they go. And there's the round. Raver won't get to E in time.
Very, very unfortunate for the Pittsburgh Knights, but Team Queso, that switch up was just enough, honestly. They went ahead and did a good spread. They won 2 different fights, and that Raver, that he went ahead and sacrificed a huge shot to take one of his own. That really cost him in the end, because then that gave Problems the advantage in shots, but now it's really going to get an opportunity where the Pittsburgh Knights, they can either block something down, put a big weapon towards the stern, possibly frag grenades. But it does look like they're going to favor that lock and try to close it down here.
Okay, so we'll see if the Knights can get that one done. So, as Jacob said, with that shot grenade blocked off, the Knights have an advantage. They need to make sure that they can use the nade that they have to possibly ice leaking players off top stern, get that 2-to-1 heal set up, get the lead, play some good defense, force a fight. But it's Team Queso forcing the initial. They'll get the double down. It's Sleeafer and Problems working in tandem to get the neutral hill locked in. Sleeafer already on the rotation, getting some shots in on Sleeafer's back. He has the Incinerary in hand. He has to block off the route, the closest route to the home hill, but he tosses it a little bit too deep. Now he's trapped. Monkyz tries to make the play, but it's Fearzly who gets it done. Couldn't get the double. The home hill getting decapped. Sleeafer needs to stay alive. He will. And with the flames blocking off one route, that's going to funnel Raver into his death and then funnel all of us into a round number 9. Let's see who gets it done, Jacob.
Yo, real quick, Blaze, that right there is a prime example of why we say those side weapons, even though they get upgraded, they do nothing on the initial to help you. Dezonide tried to grab that shock grenade. He threw it towards the top of the winch, but all that opponent did is say, okay, you're late to the fight. Let's go up top and take 2v1 after 2v1 to win back-to-back fights towards the top of the map to force this round number 9. And you can see the answer back. Team Queso locked down the shock grenade, but instead, PK choose to upgrade that sniper just a little bit. And honestly, Blaze, that's the only choice they really have.
And that's a beautiful call out, okay? Great adjustment to having your shock block. Play more aggressive. Play past where your opponent's planning on tossing that one and get that initial first blood. And then at that point, you nullify that. Problem switches his weapons at the nick of time. He'll rotate wide. Raver presses down Sleeafer. He can't get the down. He'll group up with Dezonide. But Problems goes for the immediate flank. He gets the down, gets out, gets behind enemy lines. But how far can he stay alive? He goes all the way back towards the spawn, but that's a good thing for his teammates because that makes it for the Knights to have to trek more ground to make some more impactful plays. Sleeafer goes down up top, but he didn't go down on the edge. He just stays alive. But for how long, Jacob? In a 1v2 situation, Chavii's calling for help.
Oh, no.
But how much does he need? A little bit more. His teammates trying to find an angle. The snipe's in hand. He can't help him. With Chavii going down, the snipe is dropped for Sleeafer and Team Queso. They will slow this round because they got to find a way to get a pick.
This is how much they trust Sleeafer. In the biggest round yet, round number 9, with a chance to shut out the Pittsburgh Knights and really shake up this major early on, they give Sleeafer the sniper. And I feel like that's indicative of IBN always giving you the sniper plays. They trust you to make the big play, and Sleeafer gets the headshot on the Monkyz.
Looking for the second. He sees him. He knows 2 targets. Dezonide is going to rotate, but Sleeafer looking towards the ramp says, Raver, don't you peek up. Also, Dezonide, don't you rotate out of that cover as well. The Knights, they didn't get too overzealous. They knew that they had the lead, and they didn't panic, right? Dezonide could have ran out of the situation, went to top stern. He didn't give up his positioning because they know that we got a lead. We just have to wait for our teammate to come off the respawn.
Got me holding my breath. You got me holding my breath after each and every one of these shots that Sleeafer lines up. That's going to be a narrow miss. Trying to help his team from across the map. He continues to put that angle. Chavii gets one. He goes down, but his teammate is still in a 2v1 situation. Sleeafer now has to focus in front of him. Dezonide getting Lancer. That down's going to come through, and Team Queso will hold on to the neutral hill, but their home hill will now go under Pittsburgh Knights' control and give them the 2-1 lead late into round number 9.
This is exactly what PK needed. Dezonide did a great job staying alive. Sleeafer missing big shots to help his team win that fight down low, but you can't hit them all. But tie game. Who's going to win? We're in the later portions of this round. Raver goes down on his opponent's home hill, but the Knights know that they got to get E. Monkyz by himself goes down, but Fearzly saves his life. His guardian angel will be able to get the kill. The neutral hill capture. It's a home hill press. Cristalize on D. Sleeafer playing his life, being sneaky. The flash goes down. A quick revive. Another quick revive. They get out of dodge. They'll hold their life, holding the right hand. It's Chavii crossed out. The home hill transitions again. Monkyz wins his battle, and it's gonna be Fearzly against Sleeafer. It's not gonna matter too much in the late game because I think the Knights already did what they needed. They will survive in this series. We're going to a map number 4.
Pittsburgh Knights do it yet again. And honestly, Blaze, they were of a shell of what we expected to see during this major after taking first in almost convincing fashion during that regular season. But this could be the moment. This could be the time that the Pittsburgh Knights rise up and try to get this reverse sweep over Team Queso. And the biggest thing that I'm going to point out here, even though it's very, very early in our championship bracket, it's moments like that that our Latin American teams narrowly lose out on matches, narrowly lose out on maps, and it deflates them so much, it potentially costs them the series. So for Team Queso, we're talking about when championships are being made during championship moments, this is the series that Team Queso needs.
Yeah, this is this one. And you know what? I love their comeback there in that map number 3. And they kept it competitive because it looked like after PK won 4 rounds in a row, they were looking deflated, but they stayed in it. Now, let's really talk about PK because they're down 2-0 in this series. And they had a great response as well to being in this position because they know, they see the chat. They know they know what everybody is saying about them. They know how dominant people are expecting them to play. But you know, they also came in this matchup respecting their opponent. And you know what? They knew that they were going to lose some rounds. They just didn't expect for them to lose as many early on. So they did a good job just staying composed. They get map number 3 locked in, Jacob. And we talked about it a bunch, how the last 3 maps in the series favors them. When it comes down to district control, what does the Knights need to do to be able to force this game number 5?
Honestly, they need to play with the same intensity and the same wolf pack that they did during those round streaks where they were able to win 4 straight rounds in a row. A lot of their decision making was quick and decisive, and the reason for that is because they trusted in that person next to them. They trusted in the blueprint that they laid out with their coach Demise during scrims, and that's something they need to continue to do because I talked about Team Queso and how something like that can be really deflating, but on the other side, the glass half full for the Pittsburgh Knights, that could be something that they said that they use, a momentum shift to say, hey, boys, it's a realization coming to fruition. We're playing a little sloppy. We're playing a little slow. We need to be able to clean it up. And it's those moments where you're almost facing elimination from the upper side of the bracket that you begin to tighten things up. And that things change just in the blink of an eye. So coming into this next map, like I said, I want to see wolf packs. I want to see aggressive. I want to see decisive plays and being able to trust your teammates because that is what our successful teams have been doing throughout the regular season and throughout the start of this major. It's quick, decisive action.
You know, quick, decisive action, okay? And imagine, okay, chat, imagine yourself in Monkyz position. It's a tie game. 220 to 220, and you're like, oh my God, I just have to make a play. You get down top stern. Your opponent's coming in and clean you up. You see your tournament. You see your team going to the losers bracket, and all of a sudden, the decisive decision-making from Fearzly, the incinerating nade over the top, gets the kill, and now you're back into the round. Fearzly saved his team there, the newest member. And he understands the pressure on him, especially with the Knights back in his championship bracket. He has to have a better performance than they had with Chaos. Let's be honest.
That's true.
All right? That's first, not second. You can get second, cool, and we'll push, okay? But you won't first. And that play that he made, it really starts that story for him, especially if the Knights come out, boy, you talking MVPs and everything. But that's where he just earned his paycheck. Now, as we move on over towards this district control, they're going to have to continue at that pace. It's going to be Dezonide and Raver who's going to have to slay out, while Fearzly and Monkyz, they're getting that dirty work done. They're supporting them. They got the Lancers out. They're being annoying, forcing their opponent to have to clear them out of difficult positions on the map to get important POIs. And that's what they do best. So the Knights, everything is set up for them, but Team Queso, they got to close out. That's what also is something that they have to work with because they've probably been in more game 5s than anybody.
Yeah, they definitely have throughout the regular season and even today. I kind of remember at the top of my head a close one against United during the regular season, a close one I do believe yesterday against Rebel, and looking like it could be a close one again if the Pittsburgh Knights continue to heat up. But One of the things I'm going to be looking for again from both of these teams, it's going to be a huge key to success, and it's kind of 1A and 1B, is that power weapon control. We know how much of a difference maker on District a well-placed drop shot can be.
Yeah.
And I talk about it well-placed, and I use that verbiage for a reason, because it's not only getting the drop shot out of your opponent's hands, but you have to execute to perfection, because so many times we've seen this season with a team with 3, 4 straight drop shots under their control, but they don't get any eliminations from it, and it's a rather close game to where if they were able to pick up those eliminations, they can blow their opponent out of the water. So it's not enough just to get those power weapons in your control. Both of these teams have to execute to perfection. And I think Team Queso, for them, they don't want to go to a map number 5. Can you imagine being up 2-0 against the first place team, and then they've been able to pull it back? That begins to set doubt in you as players, that begins to set doubt in you as individuals. And that's something I'm not sure Team Queso is prepared to face.
That's a great call out. I'm not sure if they are as well, when it comes down to the drop shot play, that weapon is best utilized when a game is slowed down. Okay. So if you get the power weapon, sometimes players fail at most when they see a few kills and they go for that quick shot, misses, doesn't work out, or maybe a kill comes through, but their team isn't in a position to capitalize on a play that was just made. At least if you know your opponent's set up, you get the drop shot, just make sure your squad is ready to play off the kill and what you get, because technically you only need one. You get one, your team get numbers, y'all break the setup, y'all play some good gears, y'all hold, y'all rotate, y'all keep it going. So we'll see who has the most composure with that weapon. Because these players, they're gonna be in some pressure situations. All right, we've seen a few of them so far throughout 3 maps, and we've already seen some big time plays across the board. Oh, I love bracket play, Jacob. All right, the way our first 2 matches have started off on series with 2 teams being dominant in first maps number 1 and 2. Then we see some great comebacks in map number 3, and then an electrifying control. The last one almost ended in a 300 to 299 fashion with a comeback. But in this one, I think is going to match that same intensity, especially knowing that the Knights, they're not trying to lose the series.
Yeah, they're definitely not. They need to continue on and try to create history, try to get that first championship for Latin American team. But Team Queso, also a Latin American team, they're trying to make a case for themselves. And throughout the regular season, Team Queso has been improving week after week. And that's why we keep echoing the sentiment and putting that shine right where it deserves onto Sleeafer, because when the big moment calls, that man steps up and makes a big play, and I don't think District is going to be any different. So there's going to be a couple more things to look out for with these players and to take note of, is how long and how much time they leave on each one of these hills before they make that next rotation, because that's going to be key, because we've seen so many teams, they lose that first push, but because they gave themselves so much time to go ahead and make that push, it's not going to matter, because the hill hasn't rotated over, they get themselves positioned, and they have another shot at that push. Another thing to try to take note of is when the game comes towards its closing end, when a team reaches about 225, possibly 250, how far you bleed that hill dry instead of leaving that time is actually going to be a difference in how much pressure your opponent feels, because obviously when you know your opponent is maybe 18 seconds away, there's 25 seconds left on that hill, it's still winnable. You cannot make the same rotations that you were making earlier on in the same game.
No, you definitely can't, okay? And it's going to be hard in that decision-making and which one you want to do, but no matter what you do, you got to just make sure that the squad's on the same page. And hopefully your teammates can see what you're doing and get on your page without them being told and say, okay, I see what he's trying to do. He needs some help. I'm sticking on that play, because that little bit of speed and communication, that just having that camaraderie with your teammates and spending time, it's super important that even outside of scrims, that you bond with your teammates and you play games on the outside, just because the fact that in these pressure situations, just knowing that, man, my teammate, I know how aggressive he is. I know what he's thinking. Let me be there to help him out rather than him having to call for help. Those extra seconds, that can get you a chip, okay? That can win you a big series one day. So the little things like that matters. Now, something else too as well, I'm gonna call out for Team Queso, a key to success for them. Gary, when it comes down to control, he needs to be one of the most difficult kills on the map to be picked up, okay? Because one thing about this game mode, one of the hardest thing to do sometimes is stay alive, right? And if you just need to stay alive, have the least amount of deaths on the map, and making sure that you are a presence that's felt. having that Lancer out, controlling some important POIs, because players like that, they're able to just take so much pressure off their team when they're set up in that initial team fight around the hill, because their opponent knows that, why is this guy still behind lines? Do we got to clear him out? Is he playing for the power weapon? Just forcing your opponent to have to think of those questions, that's pressure in and of its own, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
So playing your life in a certain way, that's just as good as hitting shots, okay? You don't always have to be putting out the most damage to be the most impactful player on the map. And sometimes players just need to learn that, because they think that, what's going to get them the praise of the fans, is the multi-kills, right? And we get it, chat. We know what y'all love to see. But it's me and Jacob's job to make sure, y'all see the plays that the unsung heroes don't get enough of, okay? And sometimes if you don't catch them on the stream, check out the Gears Esports Twitter, all right? Our social is always posted them over there, and that's where you can stay up to date and make sure that you don't miss out a broadcast.
Don't miss out at all, but the game is set. We are underway, and this is where it is already going to get interesting. Look at the Pittsburgh Knights spread on this minimap. They might be trying to go for an early flank and an early play onto that drop shot.
That's what they're looking like they want to do. Dezonide hits a great stun, but he got counter stun. Monkyz knew it, moved in to make the play. That's going to be a drop shot in hands for PK. He needs to move in, and we talked about how the drop shot is best when the situation is slowed down. Monkyz gets taken out right away, and the drop shot was on his back, out of play. Chavii off the respawn has a perfect flank, and PK, just when they thought they were up off the initial, they get collapsed on.
Wow, such a brilliant strategy from the Pittsburgh Knights, squandered by that execution after they get the drop shot in their hands. But great plays by Cristalize to get the double down over the cover, forcing this outward respawn, and you can already see the effect that it's having. Pittsburgh Knights are conceding the remainder of the time on this hill. They're trying to get position on towards the next, but that's not going to stop Problem. He goes in, he gets a kill onto one, gets it down onto the other. Reinforcements are there trying to save the day, so this battle will continue with Dezonide going down. Cristalize once more, making short work of Monkyz, but in the end, it does look like Pittsburgh Knights are going to be able to hold on to the position and the proper eliminations, but no, I was wrong. Problem set in stone, another elimination. Sleeafer with a flank to put that final nail in the coffin. So they not only got the remainder of that scrap time plays, but they were gifted. And I say gifted very loosely because they took it by demand, that next hill as well.
They truly did. Team Queso out here making the most impactful plays that they need. And there's little ones like this one, taking the bottom side of the spawn stairs. To clear this player out this position is going to be so difficult. But Chavii, he actually presses forward and gets aggressive because he gets the call out that the Knights, they're taking the alternative route through the mid-map to try to hop up through Juice. But Team Queso had the pinch. They don't get the kills that they need. The team fire, it wasn't crisp enough, and the wolf pack from the Knights will be able to get them into the spawn and now into the hill where Cristalize is the last one left standing. Trying to at least get one of these kills. He can't. His teammate can't get the revive either, so that's going to be the Knights finally getting some more time.
Yeah, finally showing some life on the side of the Knights. Fearzly even getting himself the second drop shot in the game. The first one unable to be used by anybody. Great smoke to try to get out alive. Reinforcements there as well. 20 seconds remaining on this scrap time in Team K, so they have such a lead. Everybody rotating on over, trying to get in position towards the next. Dezonide, though, is in a key spot because they already have that arcade. It's going to make their journey trekking across the map that much easier. But down roughly or exactly 60 points. That drop shot that you see in the hands of Fearzly is going to be very, very important. This is where I talked about the impactful use of these weapons.
This is where he needs to make sure he hits a big-time shot with it. Maybe he wants to clear out the spawn or take out Chavii on the ledge. He has the mark. That's an easy kill. That's going to make a pathway for the Knights to be able to hop into the hill where they're trying to take a quick 2v1 on Cristalize. He can't take one to the grave. The revives come through. The Knights, they're going to clear out the back spawn, and now they can go forward facing towards the mid-map and get on the same page. They know no one's going to be behind them. We'll see how strong this setup's going to be, Jacob. Team Queso, they're going to group up here towards info, and they're actually going to spread out and try to make this play from all three lanes at the same time. But do they stack two towards the top or two towards the middle?
Does look like they're going to stack 3 players towards the top on the side of the Pittsburgh Knights. They're going to defend it with 3 players of their own. Raver has to be careful here because Cristalize has been getting aggressive and making plays all series long to give Team Queso the 2-1, and Cristalize does it again. Cristalize towards the lower potion. He wins the 1v1 against Raver. Sleeper with a big kill, but Dezonide and Fearzly trying to be the last stand. Chavii! Chavii steps up big. He makes the play for Team Queso to keep them up in the lead and with full control over the position of the next drop shot in 10 seconds.
Whew, Chavii is smooth like Queso, okay? Let me tell you. The plays that they made, the 1v1 from Cristalize, I think Sleeafer hit a back A from the lower portion of that window, and then Chavii comes out with a double. That's a huge momentum builder for them. Cristalize gonna get revived and spawn. The drop shot's gonna get backpacked from Sleeafer. He'll take one to the grave as well. That's a big win for him. Now, problems, will he get revived in time? Yes, he will, but they need to quickly get back into the fight. They'll help from Cristalize. Problems stuck in the corner. Raver will be able to capitalize off his missed position, and he's gonna put himself in a great spot to flank, get the damage for his teammates, and now they'll take a 2v1 as Sleeafer trying to stay alive and wait for his teammates.
Yeah, honestly, that 2v1 might have been a blessing in disguise for the Pittsburgh Knights because that could be that wake-up call. Hey, guys, we're doing it again. We're making bad mistakes. We're having the same bad habits from the first 2 maps. We need to tighten up once more. Raver goes down, but just a split second. They need to get out of this trap of all players are being funneled down low as Team Queso possessed the angles. Dezonide was able to go and stretch prowess, not allowed Chavii to get as loose as he already was. That alleviated the pressure, but Dezonide goes down. Chavii makes the play again, giving the go-ahead advantage to Team Queso. Back to back. Chavii, this is exactly what we needed to see from the young guns.
Man, they have stepping up in the moment, making their veteran IGLs proud. As you see the team effort from Queso, they have came together in bracket play as Problems staying aggressive in the spawn. Him and Chavii together, that duo, it is hard to beat them up. Also, you got Cristalize and Sleeafer towards the back lines. Honestly, if you want to put them on paper side by side, hey, their team comp is kind of similar to Pittsburgh Knights. They're just making it work a little bit better for them in a moment.
This goes to show star power means absolutely little when you have all the heart in the world on the side of Team Queso, and Cristalize does it again. You talk about making plays and buying time. He does both, and he does it again. Where is Raver at? 2 back-to-back 1v1s. Cristalize is leading by example, and you can see how it's affecting the team. Everybody is taking it in strides and using it as momentum to make each and every play here. Problems, he's going to back down. He knows reinforcements are there in the form of big boy Cristalize, and a 2v2 is going to break out, and it's going to be Problems who gets one. Cristalize goes down just for a few seconds. It looks like a cross towards the side. Raver is going to get dropped, but the Wolfpack is going to save the day narrowly with Sleeafer now on the defensive.
The Knights, they gotta save face. They gotta be able to stop the bleeding. Those are some good kills coming out from Raver and Monkyz. They'll start rotating across towards the opposite end of the map, trying to take over spawns, get geared up for Hotel. I saw 90 seconds on that drop shot. Who just got it? It's in the hands of Raver. Now, you got Team Queso spawning towards the bottom portion of the map. Raver can get a big kill. Great, that's one. That's gonna force out Chavii. It's PK. They break out knowing that they have to be aggressive with their numbers, and they gotta take this fight cleanly, but not every player committed to the mission. Not everyone understood the assignment, and even with PK having numbers, they would quickly give them up. But a flank from Chavii, he was the first kill. Now, like the first team fight of this map, he was the first out, but he was the one who got the last laugh. He's taken out towards the spawn, but his team is collecting on time. And do they have to shock? They do. But Dezo, he can stay in this position until he times himself out.
I wouldn't do this to you.
Raver, though, I gotta say, with at one point or another, Pittsburgh Knights having so much control, Raver getting over aggressive in that situation where all they needed to do is back out and hold the angles because the downs were already coming in. That gave up the positioning to Team Queso, and this is why they're able to hold on. They're able to backtrack. They're able to put these shots and not give it up easy to the Pittsburgh Knights, but they are finally being able to break out. They're finally spreading out and get the angles of their own. own. So the downs are coming in. They're forcing revives out, but Monkyz oversteps. He goes down. Raver doing what he can. Fearzly's gonna fall, and that is going to be it yet again. PK get over aggressive at the wrong time. It cost them a couple lives and gives up the opportunity for Team Queso.
Monkyz and Raver, Dezonide's guardian angel, they had them set up in a cross. They had a player in info and a player cross map at arcade. Now they get the scrap time in the power weapon as well. They're gonna set themselves up back spawn. Raver calling for reinforcements. He needs to continue to back up. He can't go down in this situation. He plays his life. Does not want to lose the drop shot on his back. Problems is taken out. It's gonna be Cristalize in a bad situation, but he gets it down. He gets a kill. He moves forward. He says, I'm here for you, Raver. Where you at? That's a trade. No one left in spawn but Monkyz. As they heal, we're gonna reset. We're going back to P1. It's been absolute chaos. Boy, look at the score. It's a tie game.
This is something I don't think anybody kind of woke up and expected Team Queso to come out with this type of fire. That's what happens when you're on the grandest stage of them all and the brightest lights. It kind of does things to you, sometimes bad and sometimes good if you're Team Queso. It's Monkyz with a missed drop shot. Fearzly going down, giving up the angle. And Team Queso, they're not getting over aggressive. They're making sure to put out the team fire. Chavii with the flank yet again to make sure that fight is cemented as a victory in the hands of Team Queso, who's also going to be the first team to reach that 200-point mark. And what's scary about that is there's still 50 seconds left on the hill that is potentially up for grabs.
It's a lot of time, especially in the late game and how close these squads been playing each other. You can't give up anything free like that. You have to be able to contest every portion of the score. As Cristalize moves up, the back A won't connect. He has to back down. He's doing a great job creating space.
Oh my God.
And he's taking it all up.
I don't even know who to give MVP to. Sleeafer's been making plays. Chavii with the amazing flanks. Cristalize leading by example. And Problems being a huge problem for the squad. 1v1 for Dezonide by himself. Finally, somebody's going to be able to slow down Cristalize. Sleeafer going down as well. That gives up the go-ahead man advantage and the position for this next hill. But Team Queso, because they lost 2 players, they can easily try to bleed this one dry. Drop shot in the hands of Raver, and he has to execute to perfection. We've seen too many missed opportunities at the hands of that weapon.
Beautiful revives coming out there for PK. They'll be able to get the power weapon. They're going to hold the lower portion of arcade. I think they're going to get themselves a shot grenade as well. They're not getting the time that they need. Raver's trying to move up and help his teammate clear Chavii out of juice. They successfully do that, but now they need to get the flank towards spawn, but they're going to flank themselves. It's Sleeafer, but he plays his life. He can't actually get away. They're going to cut back. PK still has the power weapons to use. That's a good stun, but the down won't come through. Team Queso in a difficult spot. They got the lower spawns coming in from Hotel. They get marked up, but they're not on the side of the map in which they want to be. All of this time should go over towards the Knights, Jacob. Team Queso may opt to play for next. It's 40 points remaining. They at least got to contest for one fight. They need to get this drop shot out, okay? You know your opponent have it. You have to make them use these power weapons now and give yourself time for the rotation.
And on the side of Raver, he needs to save it. I don't even want to see Raver use that drop shot on this hill. Save it for the next one. Play your life, even if it means abandoning the team, because he did a good job of coming back. 2 straight eliminations. Make it 3 in the books as they get that down onto Chavii and a full-on team wipe. And that's exactly what I wanted to see out of Raver. The discipline with that drop shot. So now, Blaze, they're set up towards the next hill. They have a big power weapon in the hands of a big-time player of Raver.
They also got the shock as well. I didn't even see him toss it there at the end, but a new one will be up. It goes in the hands of Problems. The drop will connect. That's going to slow the push down a bit. But I don't even think that Team Queso was ready, though. You know, he could have waited a little bit longer. Fearzly on the flank. Sleeafer, he can't get out. That's going to be 2 down. PK feeling even more comfortable in this moment to take the lead. I think it's going to be probably for the first time in this map an official lead change. A new drop shot being picked up for Monkyz. He'll rotate down towards Hotel. The Knights still getting points. They'll take out Problems, and they'll be set up once again. They can close out on this hill. A drop in the doorway only gets splash damage. The revives are there for Team Queso, but Monkyz is going to hold the doorway with an L trigger in hand. He says, you bet not come through. Dezonide trying to take down Sleeafer over the cover. They'll get the down. They'll take out Cristalize as well. Now the Knights say, let's move out. Clean house. End it. Don't let them sit here. Oh, wait. They said, no, Blaze. We show discipline. We ain't going nowhere. Now they want to utilize their numbers. They say, oh, but they get out the hill. No more time to get back in it quickly after cleaning up the fight. That will stagger to death, but wasn't enough time left.
I like that decision, though, Blaze, to kind of break out, because regardless, there wasn't enough time left on the hill. So you want to pick up those eliminations. That way, you have that advantage as you rotate around the map. But that advantage is certainly diminishing. Raver and Dezonide, both of them go down. Team Queso getting that scrap time. And if they could get this to about 250, I think they would put themselves in a good spot. But 248, that is definitely close enough. But Problems get snuck by Monkyz. But Monkyz gets traded back and forth. Sleeafer, this one, Blaze, is going down to the wire. Will we see a game number 5? Or will Team Queso close it out in 4?
We're about to find out. I will say that if the Knights lose this, they're going to regret even pushing out an ATM, because the play was for them to stay, or at least keep one player in the hill with a Lancer out and not give up that dub in the moment. Now the pressure's back on them, but they are in the hill. They are currently being surrounded. Player 7 being Chavii needs to get in the fight as soon as possible. He's going to have to worry about the player in juice, but Dezonide gets the kill that his squad needs. 15 more points needed for the Knights to send us to a game number 5, but Problems gets a double. He's back in the contestant for the hill. It's 2 in. They want to chase the kill down, but they want to get points. They'll slow down. Now, Team Queso, they have to mark these players. They can't get bamboozled. Now they're going to get pinched just that quickly. When you thought the Knights were on their back foot, they're back into the fight. Beautiful Lancer fire coming out from Dezo. Cristalize will find a kill, and Problems gets another. They got the pinch on the Knights. 2 players left, but they can't get it done in the Knights. 2 more points needed. We're going to a game 5. The Knights not giving up that easy. And Team Queso, oh, can they close it out? Jacob, this has been a crazy series thus far. Dezonide, 20k damage, 22 assists to his name, +4 on the KD. We're going to Tomb. It's the Knights stomping ground. We'll see if they can complete the reverse sweep. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Gears 5 Winter Major. As we are midway, well, not midway, we're really at the back end of this series between PK and Team Queso. On to a game number 5 to tell the story. Well, it was Team Queso up 2-0 in this series. It looked like they were going to be able to close it out. We went to a round number 9 and map number 3, but PK, they got it done. We came into map number 4. It looked like Team Queso was going to close it out again, but the Knights, they knuckled up. We went the distance. They won by about 14 points. But in map number 5, we're going over to Tomb Execution. Jacob, you talked about how they had to be perfect on 3 different game modes in order to complete this reverse sweep. They're almost there. They got 1 more to go.
Yeah, that's gotta be living on a little bit of a confidence. I wouldn't say the utmost confidence in the world. You started out the series down 2-0. That one looking a little scary and shaky, but you gotta have that confidence to know that you guys can pull it back. You've seen everything, you've done everything. No matter how deep into the hole you go, you can still make the impossible possible. But I gotta go ahead and say it. Team Queso, Sleeafer in general, man, he had a chance to close out that game number 4. Late in the game, he picks up the drop shot. For the majority of his rotation to the low side of the map, he was unscathed. He puts himself locked in towards the bandstand, and they went ahead and made him a target on the side of the Pittsburgh Knights. It shows that Sleeafer, after all the great plays he's doing, he is human. Retirement to keep their winners bracket lives alive.
All right. Retirement still in this tournament, but they got to play perfect. You see a beautiful back eight coming out from Fearzly. Cristalize will be able to take him out. Problems just got towards the flank to get it down, but Chavii gets there at the right time. Ooh, a miss roll. And he didn't get the point blank either. It's PK who will strike first and take round number 1.
2 great map victories to start out the series, put Team Queso up 2-0. Since then, we've seen them put up fight after fight in maps number 3 and maps number 4. Unfortunately, plays, it wasn't enough, and which is why we find ourselves in Game 5, and Pittsburgh Knights have now found themselves with all the momentum in the world. A great round number 1 victory, and you kind of prefaced it. It starts down low towards that Torquebo fight, and they say, Cristalize, Sleeafer, we know you're going to lead by example, and we're going to do the same thing ourselves.
Some good shots from Fearzly. They'll be able to take down Sleeafer. Quick revive coming out from Cristalize, but the bow won't connect. The kills won't come through just yet either. Team Queso is going to back up, try to play their lies, and let Sleeafer make some shots with the torque bow. But as he's moving up, wanting a player to walk out, but he just gets out with his life barely. But he needs to take over because he can't get across from the right. They get him pressure from both sides, and Sleeafer says, "Don't worry, I got the back lines." He takes down one, couldn't connect on Monkyz, but he gives his squad some space to work with. They're going to try to make it a 2v1. Monkyz hops out towards the middle. He gets another. He's looking for a kill, staying alive, calling for help from his teammates. It's a 2v2. Sleeafer, does he make time for the flank to come through? He will not. Cristalize needs it down, but both players hip to hip. They'll get a quick revive. He's in a 1v2. And I don't think anyone has multiple downs on him either.
The biggest elim there out of that whole exchange was when Monkyz was getting chased. Sleeafer connected with that Torquebo headshot, which put Monkyz on the map across by himself. Everybody from Team Queso, they turned. They realized this is our chance to continue to put the numbers in our favor. But Monkyz getting that elimination and staying alive turned the tides back in the favor of the Pittsburgh Knights. See the overtime hill, about 30 seconds or less, and this is where Cristalize is trying to get that 1v1, but the Pittsburgh Knights, just like you saw Rise close out that game number 5, are keeping their distance. They're not giving them any opportunity to come back, and Monkyz finally gets the headshot onto Cristalize, and the Pittsburgh Knights go up 2-0.
PK. They say, you know what? We know how to close out map 5s. We're not going to drop down to the elimination bracket. We're going to keep progressing, make our way to the winners finals, and that's where they want to win this tournament. They don't want to have to win a chip being down a map. This round, though, it was Sleeafer making that great shot when his team was in a difficult spot. He's been playing a great tournament. But also the Knights, they stayed composed. More importantly, Monkyz, man, avoiding that 1v2 situation. He set his team up for success. Now we see the combo working together. They will get in towards that bow. Raver gets taken out by Chavii. Multiple downs on the map, but Fearzly, he'll find one of his own. The kills aren't cleaned up, and it's the Knights. They'll win the battle on the low portion. A quick flank from Chavii. He needs to get this kill. He misses his back A. He misses the second as well. He holds a shot. Finally wins his battle. It's a 2v1, but he can't move. He needs to quickly get into that one-shot range, and he can't get it done. The Knights go up 3-0.
Monkyz on his way to a perfect game. 7-0 with 2 assists. 6,000 damage. This is the driving force of the Pittsburgh Knights. I was expecting to see in game number 1. Better late than never. Welcome to join the party, Monkyz, as the Pittsburgh Knights now have a commanding and definitive 3-0 lead over Team Queso. It was looking hot almost all series long, but it's those losses at the end of maps number 3, the losses at the end of game number 4 that really deflates you. And I thought I was going to see it sooner. I thought I was going to see it on the side of the Pittsburgh Knights. But man, Team Queso, they are looking like they're crumbling right before our very eyes. So this is going to be a huge swing round to give Queso, or at least stop the momentum on the side of the Pittsburgh Knights.
Okay, so they got their focus towards the bow once again. Some good shots coming in from Monkyz, but you saw he got pressed just now. It's Fearzly who will be able to get a kill on Problems. Monkyz, well, actually, Monkyz won his 1v1 against Problems. Sleeafer's taken out, Cristalize as well. And this is an easy round so far for the Knights as they get a team wipe and they put another round on the board. I don't think Monkyz has died thus far in this map. And it's going to come down to Team Queso trying to have to slow this one down because EK has them figured out. They know that they're going to be playing aggressive towards that bow, and Monkyz, he just keeps setting up a perfect trap. 10-0! I don't know why I said 4-0. I'm just missing 6 kills somewhere in there.
I mean, at one point or another, he was 4-0, but 2 rounds later, he picked up 6 more eliminations, Blaze. Monkyz when he's performing, he's looking like one of the best players in Gears Esports and forcing Team Queso to switch up their strategy. They go to the northern portion of the map, picking up that sniper. Chavii goes down, and he is going to go out by Raver, giving Pittsburgh Knights the go-ahead man advantage. Raver gets sniped by Sleeafer, who's making play after play, forced to try to make another one, but Raver shuts him down, and that has been the story of this game number 5. Pittsburgh Knights living on a prayer up until this point, and now they have commanding taking over 5-0. This is looking like a shutout that we didn't expect in this game 5.
Jacob, I thought Cheese got better with time, but
right?
Team Queso, man, they looking kind of moldy. They not as fresh as they was in these last few maps. They look non-existent. They're not here. Where are they? Hello? They're losing some big battles, and you know what? Sometimes it's just not everybody can handle the pressure. You know, the Knights, they've been in situations like this before, and this is why we have different tiers in our league. In this game 5, to complete the reverse sweep, the Pittsburgh Knights come out with a flawless tomb execution to shut this series down and send Team Queso down to the elimination bracket. Congrats to them. They get it done.
Monkyz, he actually does complete the perfect map. 12-0 with 4 assists to his name, leading by example. And that's the thing about the Pittsburgh Knights, man. When you're going into a series against them, you better expect to go the distance each and every time. Doesn't matter if you start up 2-0. And that's exactly why they took first place.
No deaths. No deaths, man. 12-0. Call that perfection.
I mean, the damage, the stats speak for himself. Monkyz is the driving force for the squad, and honestly, I don't want to say they kind of escaped a little bit, but that round number 9 on that escalation, that game number 4 with Sleeafer, multiple opportunities with Team Queso to kind of close out this series, man. And that's the thing we've always say, you don't capitalize on your opportunities, somebody else will capitalize on your mistakes.
And they had multiple, right? After being up 2-0 in this series, they went to that round number 9, okay? They were up, but Fearzly threw that miraculous nade, or the incinerator to take the round. In map number 4, they were up multiple times, but Sleeafer, bad rotation with the drop shot. And then they go to map number 5, and I guess they said, we ran out of all our chances, okay? we don't got nothing left in the tank, all right? Analysts, I don't know if y'all feel the same way, but John, break this series down.
Absolutely, man. We feel the exact same way. So close, and honestly, game number 4 on Control, they looked like they were going to do it. They looked like they said, hey, despite the adversity, despite losing Escalation game 3, we're still going to close this game out. But PK played perfect, Ribs.
Yeah, that composure, you absolutely cannot teach that. I mean, the Knights to come back, they were down series point on map 3. For them to bring that all the way back, get to a map 4, that map 4, Team TQ having plenty of advantages, plenty of chances to close it out. And we said that was going to be one of our keys to victory for TQ, close it out. Do they close it out when they have series point? They don't. Do the Knights capitalize? They do. Toby, I don't know, man. Sleeafer was like I said, a player that I said was going to go off. He did very well, especially on Canals, but it just wasn't enough. That's heartbreaking. 2 game 5 losses, Toby, for Queso back-to-back this weekend.
Yeah, honestly, this was the Sleeafer show, right? From the get-go. Just on Canals alone, the amount of snipe headshots that he had were just simply incredible. Just completely outplaying Dezonide. And it didn't even stop there. Again, he's on our screen once more, pulling off clip after clip without that sniper, right? In Harbor, once he got the snipe later on, he started having a huge presence on the map. PK had to change up dramatically in that sense. And it was quite fortunate for PK to clutch up in the end as well, of course. Remember, Harbor was a very close game, 5-4. And yeah, again, Sleeafer on our screen, sniping his back, doing very well over by the E-Hill as well. Fearzly clutching up though in that last round. And then you get onto District as well. And this is where PK started to come into their own, right? TQ were well ahead for most of this. PK really had to clutch up, right? But you had Chavii going off, as we see in this clip here. Everyone was really pulling their weight for TQ, but it really took the Ravers of the world, right? It took Dezonide, all these star players coming together. Raver really composed with that drop shot over and over, right? He didn't get plenty of multi-kills or anything, but boy, did he hit those shots. Then, of course, we came to Tomb. This is the problem for me, right? You had Canals. It was the weakest map for PK on their strongest mode. TQ took advantage, but they didn't close it out before they got to Tomb, which is a very, very strong map for PK, as pretty much everyone showed, especially Monkyz, by the way, who was pretty much at the bottom half of the scoreboard for most of the match up until this point. Finally, he gets on one of his favorite maps. He gets a snipe, he gets the shotgun, finishes 12-0. I think TQ, moral of the story really is, yeah, fantastically well played, but you need to close it out sooner.
This is quite simply heartbreaking. That's the only word I could use for it. I really feel bad for the TQ fans and these players on the side of the Knights. A close match, but it's a W. That's all that matters on the scoreboard. It doesn't matter if it came down to the very last map, very last round. If you move on and you're still in winner's bracket, then no harm done. I mean, it's definitely concerning for the Knights, but TQ has proven that they're going to be a team to beat this weekend. But now they're going to be in loser's bracket. I mean, there was a world, John, where TQ moves on over the Knights, and Rise almost loses to Quarantine as well. They do a reverse 3-0 also against Kenny Bounce and Summon's brother and Cells. It's just crazy to me that these upsets almost happen, but that's the key word. It's just almost.
Yeah, that is the definition of Gears Esports. Round 2, matchups that you expect one team to just breeze through, and typically a lot of times you actually do see that upset, but this time the teams that are expected to win clutch up, making our hearts skip just a little bit, getting a little bit nervous for them. And look at the map count here: 5-4 Harbor Escalation, 300-264. Obviously, last game PK absolutely dominated, but what made it for me was the errors from Team Queso. You could tell either they were nervous, a couple of mistakes, but on Escalation, last round, they have the 2 cap, they have a 4v3, they have numbers, and they're not able to hold on to their 2 hill setup. They allow plays to be made elsewhere on the map. They take unnecessary 1v1s. They don't finish that kill. When there was an individual down up on the top E hill over on Harbor, and those mistakes obviously cost them out. And then game 5, same thing. Sleeafer gets a sick torque headshot. You have a 4v3. Textbook Gears, take your numbers. You can't lose that round. At that point, I think it was 0-0 or 1-0. That's a momentum shift. When you lose a 3v4 like that, you're absolutely disheartened. And, Ribs, I know you've been part of that as a player. It just can't happen.
Yeah, you can't give a team, a championship caliber team like the Knights, you can't give them any advantages. And you're 100% right on execution specifically. Getting that first round on the board sometimes is the hardest one. And when Sleeafer makes a headshot like that was one of the best torque bow headshots we've seen all weekend. You have to capitalize, and Queso just didn't. So they're going to go on a loser's bracket. They look great, but that has to be deflating. I mean, it's going to be tough. 2 map 5s that they've lost. One on Friday, one on Saturday, and here they are in losers now.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at the winner's bracket, at least for now. PK advances. If Queso wins that game, you just wonder what the story could be for this tournament. But instead, Knights and Rise both clutch up. But look at our start to championship bracket. 3-2, 3-2, bunch of 3-1s, 3 of them to be precise in winners round 1. Close-ass games, that's for sure. It's been so much fun to watch so far. We, of course, have United versus Pioneers coming up next on the main stage. Rebel versus Fury 1 on Bravo, I believe. Let's take a look at the losers bracket as well and see where Team Queso is going to be. Now they're going to have to play against Hive, and that's a pretty tough matchup. It's not a walk-in-the-park matchup, but after that, they play against the winner of Retirement, Fire, and Ice. So the journey, the road is so difficult now for Queso. Gosh, deflating is one thing, but difficult is another, Toby.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate the way things have gone for Team Queso. Definitely the best performing team in the lower half from the Pro League, right? And they've had just such close matches against their LATAM counterparts, right? And Rebel, and of course now PK. And yeah, we criticize them a lot, but there are lots of positives to take from the 2 series, right? And they need to focus on those, and they need to hold their heads high and just focus on the road ahead. Yes, it's going to be a very difficult one, but I think they can really chug it out, if you will, and make their way back.
Yeah, that's a great point. They show that they have what it takes to compete at a high level. You just can't let that deflate you. You can't let that situation put your head down going into losers. You have to say, no, instead we beat the best team in Pro League. We could easily be the best team in this tournament, and let's play like it. Let's show it. It's going to be a difficult road ahead, but we'll see what Team Queso can do in that losers bracket. With that said, I'm interested to get the thoughts of Dezonide from the Pittsburgh Knights. What was going through their head when they're down 2-0? What were the comms like? They start clutching up, especially on Control, on Escalation. Insane games from them. Let's go ahead and throw it over to Jordan with an interview with Dezonide.
Thanks, Fallout. Yeah, Dezo, what a match. You get the reverse sweep done, but obviously, like, it was tight throughout. Some may even call it a steal that you guys were able to walk away from. Just tell me, what are your first thoughts just walking away from that game?
I mean, Queso came from like with the intense, with intense map. Like the first map, Regency, they play so well. Also the second map, Canals, they play so well. That's the first two maps. Then we say like we will come back. You know, we are better team than them. We know that, so we say let's come back this, and we still play in focus. We never give up. Like we are a team like we never give up. We are a really good team in that point, and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, so you touched on the first two maps, but I think really the story of these are map 3 and 4. In all honesty, obviously you guys just put them in literally the tomb by map 5. But talk to me about map 3. You know, it was Fearzly coming up big at the end in the clutch series. So what happened? What did you see, and what were your thoughts overall just when you see him pull that off and then you guys are able to pull out the victory there?
I mean, they had the opportunity to beat us. To be honest, if Problems kill Monkyz in that top, they will win. So it's just like plays, you know. I mean, purely we are so clutch in that moment. Like I said, we never give up. So in that particular moment, we say like I don't know what just we said, and we just play and fiercely kill the guy with the incense, and we said we won, and we were so hype about that.
Right. You know, I think, you know, to your point, it's not always about what you're saying. Sometimes you just literally have to rely on each other, trusting the chemistry. You know, how important was that for you guys to, you know, be able to rely on each other to come together, even though there were times where it could have just ended at any point?
I mean, we are all together in the department. We are talking. We know what are our faults. We know what we need to do for win, and so we are winning. We won the league, no? So we know how to win. So we just need to do what we know to do. So that's simple as that.
Yeah, it's a long day for the rest of the day. This is just your first game. So you do have Rise coming up next. They also had a pretty close and very competitive series, but just like you guys yesterday, were looking very strong. So what do you want for your next match, just as a squad, picking it up here, moving forward? What do you want to do?
We need to play more perfect, to be honest. We need to don't have mistakes versus Rise, because I mean, if they have the opportunity to beat us 2-0, they never. It's so difficult to combat them, you know. So we need to start focus versus them. We need to play our game, and it will be a really good match. Rise is a really good team, and I'm excited to play them.
Absolutely, Dezo. You guys really never disappoint on the main stage. Like to keep us on our toes, as I like to think. So congratulations on the win. Good luck the rest of the way. You, the fans, Gears fam, don't go anywhere. We will be right back after a quick
Saludos
commercial
a todos,
break.
bros. Adiós.